Te estaba mandando un mensaje. Yo no pedí traje esta agua vacía. Hola. Thank you.
Hi. Oh, I don't see Ron either. Did you see Ron? Ron? Okay. I got a little nervous.
Hi, Counselor. How are you?
Is there translation people?
Bueno.
Is there translation people? ¿Alguien necesita traducción? Okay. Good evening, everybody. We're just about to start. A few more seconds. ¿Algunas personas que necesitan traducción, por favor? La señora puede ayudar. Mira. Allá. Good evening and welcome to the regular meeting for the Lawrence City Council. Today is May 20, 2025. Pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Act of 2022, this meeting will be hybrid, allowing participation both in person in the City Council chambers as well as remotely. The Zoom link was provided that anybody that requested through the City Clerk's office. This meeting will be live as well through the Lawrence City Council Facebook page, as well as the Lawrence City Council YouTube page. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Councilor Levy.
Present.
Councilor Laplante is noted as absent. Councilor Luzon.
Present.
Councilor Del Rosario.
Present.
Councilor Santiago.
Present.
Councilor Marmol.
Present.
Councilor Reyes.
Present.
Council Vice President Infante.
Present.
Council President Rodriguez.
Present, Councilor LaPlante will be joining us later on during the night. Please join me for a moment of silence. Now join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, councilors, we have a minute to approve, which are from April 1st, 2025, and May 6, 2025. Councilors, can I get a motion to approve these minutes?
Motion to approve both.
Second.
There's a motion to approve both minutes, properly second by Councilor Luzon. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
Council President, I
Uh,
am
uh,
abstaining.
The ayes have it. And now we are going to go with public participation, but before we get that, I would like to recognize Councilor Marmol.
I'm abstaining from one of the minutes, so the ayes don't have it.
No, but you abstained, that's your vote.
Yes, for one of the minutes,
So-
May 6th.
May 6 minutes, Councilor Marmol have abstained to that minute. It's noted. Now we're gonna go with public participation. So anybody that would like to speak, they have a list in front of us, that it was there ready, and the rules for public participation are as follows. You're gonna have 2.5 minutes to speak. At the 2-minute mark, you're gonna have or hear or see sounds indicating that you still have 30 seconds to speak. At that moment, you're gonna measure your time, and you're gonna hear a beep indicating at the 2.5 minutes that your time is up. Please refer to this council as a whole, not to any individual councilors. We are going to start with H. Mali. Name and address for the record, please.
Humayun Mali, 53 Chester Street. Good evening, honorable members. We, the citizen, support our hard-working Lawrence Public School cafeteria workers, demand the best compensation for them. In this historical night, we, the citizen, have honor to welcome the great leader, Honorable Chief Morris Aguilar, the best leader to the Lawrence Police Department. We stand united to support Lawrence Police Officers Union and Senior Officers Union. This union of pride and honor, thank you for making Lawrence a safe city. As a citizen of 40 years in this city, testify that that you has the best leadership, magnificent performance. Thank you for making Lawrence a beautiful city. Lawrence Inspection Department employees, thank you for excellent job. We support your union. Lawrence Public School with an impeccable leadership by Honorable Superintendent Ralph Guerrero. Moving forward, we are proud to support Lawrence Teachers Union. We stand united, demand the best contract and compensation for Lawrence Public School cafeteria workers. Lawrence always is strong. Lawrence always unite. We the Laurentian proud to support our veteran. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. We must hire 2 vacant positions in our veteran department. We must create the best elder commission. We demand to our hard-working City Hall employee, they get the same pay as the new hired employees, the same pay rate. We Laurentian are one city under God. Pray for the safety of all police officers and their union and first responder. Lawrence police officers, thank you for excellent job. We stand united to support your union. Thank you.
The next person that we have is Rich Rosso, Councilor Rosso.
Good evening, councilors. Richard Russell, 34 Cross Street. Several questions for you. Number 1, will the FY26 budget need to be changed regarding what the proposed police chief's salary is versus what was agreed to contractually for the next chief? 2, Ron Lavali is well deserving of the resolution tonight. I consider Ron of being a consummate fire service dispatcher. This opinion comes from someone, myself, who has been monitoring public safety radio transmissions for over 50 years. 3, on May 1st, I submitted a public record request asking 5 questions, 3 of which are, who submitted the request to remodel the council chamber? 2, who approved the request? 3, and where did the money from this project come from? Today is day 13 of the state-mandated 10-day response window. At least I'm not being asked to pay $11,000 for answers like some are being asked to do. Not included in my list of questions was, when will the audio system be improved so the council audience can actually hear what is being said by our elected officials? Also, why is the exterior of 200 Common Street on the National Register of Historic Places while the interior of the building isn't on the same list? Lastly, an unasked question that I'm not afraid to ask. Is the remodeling of the council chamber a quid pro quo deal between individuals in this building? I can hardly wait for this 110-inch TV screen to replace that darn window behind the POTC, President of the Council. You've got a new title, sir. As always, I thank you for the time to address these issues.
The next person that we have is Philbert Ferreira. Name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, Philbert Ferreira, 91 Farnham Street. Hi, council, members of the council, city staff, and neighbors. My name is Philbert Ferreira. I am a 21-year-old local business owner and a candidate for City Council District F, and most importantly, a father. Tonight, I want to talk about an important part of our culture and community, Semana Hispana. Specifically, I'm here to ask the council to consider approving the permit to allow machines and rides in the park this year. I grew up here in Lawrence. Some of my best memories are from Semana Hispana. Riding the rides, hearing the music, being surrounded by family. Now I have a daughter of my own, and I want her to experience those same moments that made growing up in this community so special. That's the heart of Lawrence, family, tradition, and community. I understand that last year, rides weren't allowed due to increase of violence and chaos, and I respect that decision. Safety has to come first. But taking away rides does not solve the problem. It just takes away joys from the kids and families who look forward to this event every single year. So I want to offer a real community-focused solution that I believe can bring back the rides back safely and responsibly. First, I believe that increase the visibility of safety personnel. Let's bring in volunteers, people from youth programs, local organizations, nonprofits, wearing safety vests that can help the police officers maintain ordinance and assist security throughout the park. Second, I believe and I'm aware that with the DWP, Department of Public Works, DPW, we have the fences necessary to provide a barrier around the park so that we can have a few main entrances so that way we can provide a more safety ordinance and keep more organized within the community. And third is launch a citywide message. It's simple. A simple campaign as Respect a Fiesta with the Semana Hispana flyers going to the schools, the city, all around the city, reminds the community that pride is more important than violence. And it brings life to our city, supports small vendors, gives our youth something positive, and strengthens our community. Let's not just prevent problems, let's build something better. Let's bring back the ride safely and proudly.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time and your commitment to making Lawrence the best it can be.
Thank you.
For all of us.
All right, the next person that we have is Bertalia Benitez. Bertalia Benitez? Bertilia.
Por favor, ¿hay alguien que me traduzca?
Sí.
Ok, buenas noches a todos.
Give me one minute. A muchacho. Translate. Translate. Concejal, ¿qué decía ahí? Deja que se quede traducido.
Puedo con ella.
Ay, he's gonna translate for you. Él va a traducir para usted.
Ok, buenas noches.
Good evening.
Mi nombre es Bertilia Benítez
My name is Bertilia Benitez,
y trabajo en la FRO por 23 años.
and I work at the Frost for 22 years.
Estamos tratando de buscar un buen contrato justo para nosotros en la cocina.
We're trying to get a good contract for us at the kitchen of the school.
Porque ahora no sé qué está pasando, que nosotros tenemos más de un año esperando por este contrato y no han hecho nada por nosotros.
Because we've been waiting for more than a year for a contract and nothing has happened about it.
Nosotros trabajamos para la cocina,
We work for the kitchen
para alimentar a los niños.
to get food to the kids.
Como siempre hemos dicho,
Like we always say,
nosotros en la cocina somos los que alimentamos a los niños.
us in the kitchen, we are the ones that feed the children.
No sé por qué a nosotros siempre nos ponen abajo de los demás. Si nosotros hacemos un trabajo bien fuerte y no miran eso como nosotros trabajamos.
I'm not sure why they always put us lower than everybody else, because we also work very hard and they never pay attention on how we work.
Yo, ahora que tengo 23 años trabajando en el sistema escolar, en la Free School por 23 años, ahora que estoy recibiendo $18 el sueldo.
I've been working in the school system for 23 years, and now after so many years, I've been receiving $18 an hour.
Entonces, ¿por qué a nosotros no tratan de ayudarnos más? Trabajamos demasiado fuerte.
So we work very hard. How come they don't help us a little bit more?
La vida está muy difícil hoy en día.
Life is very difficult nowadays.
Está todo caro.
Everything's very
Usted ve
expensive.
cómo está la vida hoy en día.
You guys know how life is nowadays.
Si nosotros no trabajamos durante el verano,
If we don't work during the summer,
no tenemos para pagar los biles.
we cannot afford our bills.
Porque si no nos llaman para trabajar de verano, ¿cómo nosotros vamos a pagar lo que nos faltan de dinero.
If they don't call us to work in the summer, how are we going to pay because we don't have money?
Nosotros solamente trabajamos 42 semanas al año.
We only work 42 weeks a year.
Thank you. Gracias.
Ok, gracias.
The next person that we have is Arilis. Begin. And name and address for the record.
Buenas noches. Mi nombre es Arelis Pujol. Tengo 19 años en el sistema escolar. Trabajo en la Froe School. Al igual que mi compañera, estamos haciendo ese reclamo o estamos poniéndole ese tema.
Dígame su nombre otra vez.
Arelis Pujol.
Good evening, my name is Arelis Pujol, and just like my colleague, I also work in the school system.
Tengo 19 años en el sistema escolar.
I've been in the school system for 19 years.
Trabajo en la Froe School hace 19 años.
¿En qué escuela? Forest?
Frost School.
I work in Frost School for 19 years.
Al igual que mi compañera, estoy a 1876.
Just like my colleague, I'm getting 1876.
Estamos luchando ya va por un año, por un contrato justo y mejores beneficios.
We've been fighting for a better contract and also better benefits.
Ya que el costo de la vida está muy alto y lo que ganamos no nos da para nada.
The cost of living is very high, and what we earn is just not enough.
Todo lo que lo que quiero decir lo dijo mi compañera atrás. Le doy las gracias por escucharme.
Everything that I wanted to mention, my colleague, my other colleagues mentioned it, and I just wanted to say thank you for listening to me.
Okay.
Thank you. The next person that we have is Yahaira Rodriguez. Name and address for the record, please.
Buenas
¿Se
noches.
necesita la interpretación?
Sí, no, que ella es sorda. Y ella va a decir algo breve para leerlo. ¿Tú lo quieres leer o lo leo yo?
Como usted quiera.
Yo no leo. Ok. Continúa. Okay. Good evening. My name is Yahaira Rodriguez. I live in the 80 Bailey Street. I have been working in the school system for 23 years. My salary is $18.78. Thank you.
So, déjame leerlo en español, ¿ok? So, buenas noches, mi nombre es Yahaira Rodríguez, yo vivo en la 18 de la Bailey Street. Yo he estado trabajando en el sistema escolar por 23 años y mi salario es $17.86. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. The next person is Ana Sánchez.
Buenas noches. Mi nombre es Ana Sánchez. Vivo en la 31 Bigelow Street. Tengo 8 años trabajando en el sistema escolar y estamos aquí para que ustedes nos escuchen. Esto es un problema que nos aqueja a nosotros por años. Ay, sorry.
Good evening, my name is Ana Sanchez. I've been working in the school system for 8 years and I live in Bigelow Street.
Voy a ser un poco breve. Nosotros estamos haciendo un llamado al superintendente porque tenemos un año en negociación.
I'm going to be very brief. We've been in contract with the superintendent because we've been in bargaining for 1 year.
Nosotros sabemos que él llegó y encontró la escuela en negociaciones.
We know that he arrived and he had encountered the school with bargaining.
Tenemos cerca de 8 meses negociando con esta nueva administración.
We've been bargaining for around 8 months with the new administration.
Y no se ha llegado a ningún acuerdo.
And we do not have any agreements yet.
Solamente estamos pidiendo un buen salario, un salario justo.
We are only asking for a fair salary.
Y buenos beneficios.
And good benefits.
O sea, nosotros, voy a dar un ejemplo de los beneficios que no tenemos. No trabajamos el verano, nos quedamos 2 meses sin salario.
I'm going to give an example of the benefits we do not receive. We do not work in the summer and we are without a salary for the whole summer, 2 months.
Las personas que trabajan el verano, ellos las escogen, no somos todas.
they pick and choose the people that they want them to work in the summer. We do not all get picked.
Las vacaciones de febrero nos pagan 3 días y las vacaciones de abril nos pagan 1 día.
Our February vacation, we get paid for 3 days, and then on April vacation, only 1 day.
O sea, en esa quincena solamente cobramos 6 días.
So in those 15 days, we only get paid 6 days.
Nosotros creemos que no es justo.
We think it's not fair.
Y eso es por años que nos aqueja a la cafetería.
And we've been dealing with this for years, the cafeteria staff.
No tenemos longevity, nos lo quitaron desde el 2016.
We do not have longevity. They took it away since 2016.
Otro beneficio que nos aprobó Cynthia Paris, que fue un estipendio de $5,500, nos los dan en verano.
Cynthia also approved a stipend, which it was for $2,500.
$5,500.
500.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next person that we have is Germinudis Lopez.
No, thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Germinudi Lopez, 98 Cambridge Street. I just here to talk about all of you about in favor of Semana Hispana. It's just like my friend said, it is a tradition, a cultural thing that we have done in the city for 47 years. It is just so you guys can take into consideration that everything that we're doing is for the community and for us to come together as a family. It's the only place that since 46 years ago, people can go with their kids and have a good time as a family. That's all I'm asking for your vote. Thank you.
Next person that we have is Lenin Groa, Senior.
We don't have time for this.
For the record, please.
My name is Lenin Roa. I live at 36 Columbus Avenue. Today I come to you guys to explain a concern that I have. Concern is this. Wow. Past budgets in the city account for, wow, an average of $320,000 to $350,000 for the city to pay the mayor's office thus far. Before 2021, that was the case. After 2021, we are amounting, in average, $1.3 million. I don't say that. This says it right here. You guys gave me this. I'm reading it, and that's what that says. Good. Now that we understand each other. 1.4 million. Okay. In average, 1.3. These ladies came today, and they said that $32,000 is what they earn during the year. If max, minimum 30,000. I don't think they can live well with that, supporting a family. They need to get a little raise there. 23 years, 1825. That's low. That is very low. Needs in the city, schools. Schools, hey, the lady just told you, they need help. Veterans, I'm a veteran. I'm retired from the Navy. They need a lot of help. That department, I cry if I tell you what I think about that. Adults, school programs, they need help in the city. Food insecurity today is the worst in this city. There's a very high need of food in this city. I can tell you that. I've been dealing with this for more than 8 years, and out of my pocket,
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ron. Your time is
One
up.
thing, just one thing.
No.
Pay.
Your time is up. Your time is up. We have a long list. The next
All right,
person
I have one more, and I'll come back
The
for that
next
one later.
person-
Thank
the
you.
next person we
Thank
have
you
is-
for your time.
The next person we have is Antonio Ortega. Antonia Ortega, please. Name and address for the record, please.
Buenas noches. Mi nombre es Antonio Ortega. También ando representando la escuela de Loren, la cafetería de la escuela de Loren.
Good evening, my name is Antonia Ortega, and I'm also representing the cafeterias in Lawrence.
Nosotros estamos tocando puertas
We are knocking doors
para que nuestra voz se escuche,
so that our voices
que
can
nos
be heard,
ayuden
so
a
that
que
we
nuestra
can
voz sea
receive-
escuchada.
so that we can receive
Nos-
that help, so that our voices can be heard.
Nosotros nos sentimos discriminadas
We feel discriminated
por ser trabajadoras de una cocina.
because we work in a kitchen.
Nosotros tenemos la responsabilidad igual o más que un profesor.
We have the responsibility, same or even more than a professor.
Nosotros tenemos la responsabilidad de los niños de alérgicos. Todo paso por paso, la medida que tiene que llevar la alimentación de cada niño.
We have
Esa
the
es
res-
nuestra
We have the
responsabilidad.
responsibility of every child, make sure that, of the allergies, and everything that they eat. That's our responsibility.
Solo quiero pedirle que nos ayuden, que nos den la mano que necesitamos para que nuestra voz sea escuchada.
All I want to ask is that you guys can give us a hand and our voices to be heard.
Buenas noches y muchas gracias.
Good evening, and thank you so much.
Thank you. The next person that we have is Naomi de Jesus Gonzalez. Name and address for the record, please.
Naomi De Jesus Gonzalez, 39 Kent Street. Good evening. I am Naomi De Jesus Gonzalez, residing in Kent Street and a Massachusetts representative of the American Miss Pageant. My platform is autism advocacy. I serve as an autism behavioral technician. According to the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, 17% of students in Lawrence have a disability. In Lawrence, where most residents are Hispanic or Latino, and nearly 1 in 3 children live in poverty, systemic inequities in education and healthcare often create major barriers for neurodivergent children. That's why I'm committed to advocating for inclusive, culturally competent support. I have partnered with the City of Lawrence ADA Coordinator and with the Disability Commission to promote a Disability Awareness Month Fun Day this July, bringing families together to celebrate and uplift our community. To make lasting change, we must first train educators on autism in low-income communities. Second, we must use neurodivergent-friendly content. Third, we must build family-centered supports. And fourth, we must improve data transparency for autism outcomes. Let us work together to build a more inclusive Lawrence for every child. For additional details regarding the July Disability Fund Day and my community service initiative, please visit my Instagram account, Bright Spaces Project. That's again, Bright Spaces Project. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person that we have is Mercedes Gonzalez. Name and address for the record, please.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Ransay González y vengo en representación de mis compañeras de la escuela de Loren. Yo trabajo en la Barton School por 15 años.
Good evening, my name is Hasai Gonzalez, and I am also representing my colleagues. I work in La Escuela Paxton School, and I've been there for
15 años.
15 years.
Yo le vengo a continuar lo que dijo mi compañera Ana Sánchez del estipendo, que no lo quieren quitar. No sé cuál es la razón que no quieren quitar el estipendo. Dicen que no hay dinero, pero nosotros sabemos muy bien qué dinero hay, porque nosotros estuvimos en la reunión de la Sao Lorení y sabemos que hay dinero.
I want to back up what my colleague Anna Sanchez said, and it's because they want to take away our stipends. And they keep telling us that there's no money, but we are well aware that there is money.
Muchas gracias por escucharnos.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. The next person that we have The next person we have is Jeffrey Pacheco.
Right here. Good evening. Jeffrey Petrollo, 341D South Broadway. Our intent tonight is to announce that we will be filing an ordinance committee petition for zoning enforcement. Zoning laws were created in Lawrence since 1944, and they were made to protect everyone, like residential zone property owners, from being run over by commercial business owners. We have won 2 Superior Court judgments in June 2019 and March 2021, along with 2 Planning Board, 1 Zoning Board, and 1 City Council victories. Now comes the million-dollar question. How does Angelo Memolo, the owner of A&M Auto Body in lot number 18, a side of our property, dare to contradict and disregard 2 Superior Court judges' ruling and orders still in May 2025? The answer, because he can. Obviously, because our building commissioner, Peter Blanchett, has been allowing Angelo Memolo to continue to violate numerous city and state zoning laws, which includes spot zoning and operating a junkyard to store used and new auto parts without a license and no permits. On October 11th and 12th of 2023, my wife and I, in the presence of City Inspector Mike LaFrance, handed Mr. Blanchett all city and Superior Court rulings, and he has done nothing to fully enforce the zoning laws as John Sorois or Luis Ferris or Bob Quimby did as far back as the 1970s, 80s, and up to the early 2000s. There is no excuse for the lack of city zoning enforcement. None. The last city decision came on September 11, 2024, when the Planning Board ruled 0-5 against Mr. Memolo's petition to change the residential 2 zoning to business 1 and commercial 1 zoning on lot number 18. Since then, Mr. Memolo was ordered to remove junkyard dumpsters and used auto parts from lot number 18 on September 13, 2024. But on January 3rd, 2025, Mr. Memolo began storing all junkyard used auto parts on this lot again and has continued not to remove an accessory storage unit that has no permit and is illegal. Hopefully we can resolve. Okay.
The next person we have is Tom Curry.
Thomas Cuddy, 90 Lowell Street, Lawrence, Massachusetts. Good evening, Mr. President, members of the council. I stand before you tonight first and foremost as a homeowner and taxpayer in the city of Lawrence. As you all know, I'm a member of the Lawrence Police Department, so I'd like to do that by way of public disclosure for those in the audience or on the TV that do not know that. I want to begin by commending the mayor for putting a name before you tonight for your consideration from the rank and file of the Lawrence Police Department. The Lawrence Police Department is full of countless women and men that are highly educated, very dedicated, professional police officers. So I don't think in future administrations and future councils should ever consider going outside the hardworking men and women of the Lawrence Police Department going forward. Maurice Aguilar has been a dedicated police officer at every rank he has ever enjoyed within the Lawrence Police Department. As a patrol officer, as a detective, and an arson investigator, as a young detective, he was charged with the responsibility of being the lead detective of a public corruption case in the Lawrence School Department that resulted in the leadership of that department being convicted of serious crimes. Throughout the promotional process, he's excelled at every level. When he was a lieutenant and a captain, he topped both of those lists. He did that all the while going to law school, and furthermore, consequently taking the bar exam. Right around the time he became a captain, or at least topped the captain's exam, he passed the Massachusetts bar exam. Those are not tasks that are easily accomplished. They are done by dedication, desire, and tenacity. Those qualities will serve him well when he leads this department going forward. I strongly urge each and every one of you to vote affirmatively to approve the mayor's nomination for the next police chief, Maurice Aguilar. I thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. The next person that we have is Luis Robles. Name and address for the record, please.
Luis Robles, 183 Abbott Street. I feel like I don't have to make any arguments to support Maurice Aguilar. I don't know him personally. I don't think I've ever met him, but he did impress me at the personnel committee meeting. So it is encouraging to see that the city prioritized internal leadership by selecting someone who has already demonstrated dedication and familiarity with our community's unique needs. Promoting from within is a wise decision for several reasons. First, Chief Aguilar's existing relationship with officers and department personnel will ensure a smooth transition, maintaining stability and the morale. Second, the deep understanding of our city's challenges, as he demonstrated in the personnel committee, from crime trends to community concerns. It means he can implement effective strategies, and the way he spoke, at least to me, he demonstrated that he has common sense policies that he wants to implement. And it is also a good example that hard work and leadership can be rewarded in the city when we promote from within. To say that we have to bring someone from outside is a slap in the face to all of the good police officers, who the majority of them are. Let's see. Yep, that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person that we have is Chen Rodriguez. Name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, Council President. Good evening, Council members. My name is Shane Rodriguez, and I live at 226 Common Street. I'm here in support of Maurice Aguilar, and I just have a couple of comments that I'd like to present. I stand before you supporting Captain Maurice Aguilar as the next Chief of Police for the City of Lawrence. Captain Aguilar has consistently shown what authentic leadership is all about and what it looks like, not just through rank or years of service, but through integrity, empathy, compassion, and a deep commitment to our community. Captain Aguilar understands he understands the people of Lawrence because he is one of us, and I think that young man who just spoke exemplifies that. He has walked our streets, earned our trust, and built meaningful relationships with residents from every walk of life. Captain Aguilar leads with fairness, he listens with respect, and never loses sight of the humanity at the heart of law enforcement. Trust between communities and police departments is more critical than ever. And we need a leader who understands this and lives it. Captain Aguilar, he is that leader. His vision for a safer, more united Lawrence is rooted in experience and heart, and I'm confident that he will continue to lead with the same dedication and the honor he's always shown. We ask that you please strongly consider his nomination and that you appoint him the next Chief of Police for the City of Lawrence. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person that we have is online on Zoom. She is Awilda Pimentel. She would like to speak on public participation. Awilda, can you hear us?
Yes.
You have the floor. You have 2.5 minutes.
Thank you. Good evening, Council, and good evening, everyone present in the Council chambers. Awilda Pimentel, 360 Merrimack Street. Today, I am expressing my support for the candidate Maurice Aguilar, who is an amazing person, an amazing professional, and extremely responsible, who loves our city and the Lawrence people. This is a leader who actually follows up and follows through and executes. He will excel and ensure the safety of the residents and the visitors, and this is a special moment for the City of Lawrence, and I hope you can confirm Maurice Aguilar. Thank you.
Right, thank you. With that said, all these names are going to be submitted for the record. Madam Clerk.
Council President?
Yeah, I'm going to go to you. The next item that we have, we're going to go to Personnel Committee. No, hold on one second. We're going to go to Ordinance, and we have the Vice Chair from the Ordinance?
In the corner.
Yep, the Vice Chair from the Ordinance to present the item in question.
Through you, Council President, item 121-25, resolution honoring retiring Lawrence firefighter Ronald Lavali by Councilor Vice President Stefan Infante.
Are we going to take a vote for the resolution? Yes. So we're going to entertain a vote. So you make that as a form of a motion to approve the resolution.
I do a formal motion.
All right. There is a motion to approve the resolution, properly seconded by Councilor Rosario. Discussion. I hear none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. Now the resolution has been approved. Council Vice President is going to present the resolution. The resolution is an official opinion from the City of Lawrence honoring a specific person or thing. In this case, we are honoring the firefighter Ronald Lavali. So, Madam Vice President Infante.
Thank you, Council President, members of the City Council. I stand before you, proudly standing before you, to recognize now retired firefighter Ronald Lavali, who is just an incredible individual and served our community for 32 years. I had the opportunity to sit with him and the former firefighter union president. I believe that was in March. Was it March? Yeah, it was in March. And I heard a little bit about his story. And as I reported to the Ordinance Committee, one thing that really stood out to me was the sparkle in his eyes every time he spoke about our community, and how community is just so centric to him no matter what challenges we faced as a community. And that's something that it becomes less and less heard of, especially when we go through so many challenges. So to hear that was very refreshing, and I'm just glad that he served us. Saddened that we lost him, but definitely a well-deserved retirement. And before I read this resolution, I would like to give the opportunity to our current fire chief, Chief Delaney, to say a few words about this amazing individual.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Chair and councilors. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, the council, for your commitment to the city, your support for the Lawrence Fire Department, and thank you for recognizing one of our members who have spent more than half of his life as a member of the Lawrence Fire Department. On behalf of the Lawrence Fire Department, I would like to thank you, Firefighter Ronnie Lavali, for your hard work, dedication, and professionalism to the citizens of our community. We would like to wish you a happy and healthy retirement.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. City Council resolution honoring Ronald Lavali, whereas, actually, can you come here, Ron? Whereas, since the age of 9, when he first visited the Ladder 9 fire station on Bailey Street, Ron Lavali was inspired by firefighters like retired Chief Jack Gilhooly to pursue a career as a Lawrence firefighter. And whereas Ron Lavali took his initial step towards this goal in March of 1993, serving as a civilian dispatcher, where he earned his first commendation for his outstanding handling of an overdose call, and an early indicator of the professionalism and composure that would define his career. And whereas after 18 months as a civilian dispatcher, in October 1994, Ron Lavali was formally appointed as a Lawrence firefighter. And whereas Ron Lavali served the city of Lawrence as a firefighter for 32 years, serving with dedication both in firefighting operations and as a dispatcher at fire alarm, his calm demeanor keen anticipation, and steady presence of professionalism served him and the Lawrence Fire Department well. His familiar and trusted voice over the radio of the Lawrence Fire Department is already missed. And whereas Ron Lavali is a husband, father, grandfather, brother, uncle, and friend to many, it is the sincere hope of the Lawrence City Council that he will have a long and happy retirement where he can enjoy those roles which for so many years often took a back seat to his commitment as a fighter. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Lawrence City Council hereby honors Lawrence firefighter Ron Lavali on the occasion of his retirement from the Lawrence Fire Department and extend to him our sincere gratitude for his years of service to the city of Lawrence. We further bestow upon him every good wish in his future endeavors. The Lawrence City Council hereby sets hand and cause the seal of the city of Lawrence to be affixed this 20th day of May in the year 2025. Respectfully submitted, all 9 city councilors and our city clerk.
I just want to thank the council, Councilor Infante, for this great honor. Totally unexpected. It was a great sit-down with you, and it was a dream come true to be able to serve my hometown for 32 years, and I know my parents are proud of me. So thank you. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Motion to recess? Motion 5-minute recess?
Second.
It's a motion to 5-minute recess, properly second discussion. There is none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Guys have it.
Aquí mismo, Giovanni.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Okay, now we're ready.
Yes.
All right, Council Presidents. The Personnel Committee met last week. We discussed item 163-25, the confirmation of Maurice Aguilar nominee for police chief, and the committee sent this up with as a favorable recommendation, and I make that as a formal motion.
Second.
There is a motion on the table, properly second, by Councilor Reyes. Discussion. I hear none, but let's allow the candidate to speak with us.
Favorable.
Welcome again. Thank you for being here.
Good evening, and thank you for having me here. It is an honor for me to be here. I think that everything that has ever happened in my life and everything has kind of like led to this particular moment. If honored with a confirmation, I want you to know that I'm going to give my all every single day, as I have for most of my life. You know, I said it before, and we've talked about this and a couple of times. Some of you might have heard it before. You know, many, many years ago, when a lot of my friends and colleagues decided to take their families and move to a better place, quote unquote, and I don't judge them. Everybody does what they can for their families, but I decided to stay here in Lawrence and make Lawrence a better place. And I have dedicated myself always to do that every single day, and everything that I do, I have prepared myself, I have educated myself. I have been out here among everyone here as an equal, as a brother, and just as a member of this one great big family. And that includes everyone out in the community. That includes all of my brothers and sisters in blue who stand here with me today. I have walked a long road with them, and I have made many sacrifices. And I am willing to continue to do that, because that is what happens when you truly care, when you care for community, when you care for each other. I am honored to have that as my life calling, to be able to serve my people, to be able to serve as an example for my people, and for the children and for the young generations that are coming forward. I will always fight so that they can see that there is hope here in Lawrence, that we can become leaders, that we can become investors, that we can do everything that anyone else can do. I'm excited by what I see in the community, what I see the growth on Essex Street and other places, the development, new buildings, the new schools. I'm excited with the energy and everything positive that is going on here. And I know my task is to delve into the darker side of things, and that's fine. I'm going to do so fairly. I'm going to do so with the same dedication that I've always demonstrated for my community. I will always be here for you, available to you, as I always have been long before this day. And I want you to know that I will always work very hard for you, day in, day out. I'm here 24 hours a day, and that's fine. My family might not be too crazy about that sacrifice, but they understand that that is my commitment. They understand that that is my oath. They understand that that is my calling, and they support me as well. So I'd be very honored if you would accept my nomination as Chief of Police, and starting first thing tomorrow morning, if that is so, I will get to work to make things right for all those again.
Great, thank you. Well, it is important to establish the following. There was, during the interview process at the personnel committee, there was question related to safety, question related to the police department, that many other things that expectation, long-term expectation, short-term expectations, and many other questions related to the police department, the overall safety of our community. And I encourage you, anybody that wanted to witness that meeting, that this is on YouTube as of right now available, so everybody can just listen to the future chief to see what his beliefs are, which means a lot. Councilors, I'm going to open the floor for questioning at this point. So anybody that would like to speak, Councilor Mamo.
So it's going to be a minute. Thank you for being here before us, Captain Aguilar. It is a pleasure to see you as the candidate of choice for approval. Could you guys hear me? Is this, yeah, maybe? I don't know. So I'm gonna start off with some like softball questions. As a counselor, what I look for is collaborative effort and having that type of relationship with the chief to which they are responsive. Especially in my district where there are gonna be times where I'm gonna give you a phone call, I'm gonna text you, I'm gonna email you, whatever the best method may be. But each counselor has different priorities. How would you be able to manage all these different personalities and the different challenges that every district faces? What strategies and initiatives do you have in place to be able to handle being able to be attentive to each district and to each counselor?
Well, Council Marmol, as I've indicated previously, the priorities for every district are different. The priorities for the Arlington district, which is a thickly settled residential, commercial / neighborhood, is not the same, let's say, as in the Colonial Heights neighborhood. They see things differently insofar as what affects them. My interest, my intent is to sit with each of you individually once, this is done, to kind of set up a date, sit with each of you individually, and to understand what it is that your priority is. Now, you're the ones that speak to your constituents directly, so you understand what it is that ails you, if you will. So I'm going to listen to you. Now, I'm the law enforcement professional, but that doesn't mean that I know what you need. I need to hear what you need, and I take suggestions from anyone, and especially non-law enforcement, because there's a different way of looking at things. My whole career has been established on thinking out of the box, novel ideas, something that works. Something that works, let's say, for one department, that might work for our department. Something that works in the food industry might work for us, some approach. So the short of it is, I can sit with each one of you individually. When you tell me what your priorities are, then I'll understand how I'm going to move my material assets, my personnel assets, my economic assets, technology, what have you, so that we can hit the ground running. And basically, we're going to tailor it to what you want, what you need in your neighborhoods, if that makes sense.
My second question, and this one is super important to me because although you working for the department for many years comes with perks and has its advantages, I want to touch on the disadvantages. For example, some people may say that being that you've worked so closely with your colleagues for so long, will you have challenges when it comes to disciplining or having to address any police misconduct?
There's an old saying, tell me who you hang with and I'll tell you who you are. I think that most of my colleagues here, and particularly those that are in support of me here, are people that I've worked with along the way. You can't please everyone all the time. So you have to be true to yourself. My work ethic has been the same since I was a patrolman, since I was a detective. It's been the same since I was a sergeant. And it's a basic Bill Belichick thing. Do your job. That's all I ask of anyone, for us all to do our job. Personality issues aside, I can address personality issues. At the end of the day, we're here to do a job. So if your personality issue is such that it conflicts with what we're supposed to do, what we swore to do for the community, then we conflict. I have no problems disciplining anyone. I have no problems helping someone, developing someone, because discipline takes many forms. But I expect a certain level of performance. I expect a certain level of work ethic, because I did it myself. I will ask nothing of anyone that I have not done myself, over and over and correctly. And so everyone who is beside me understands that, they know that, and I think that's about it. I set the standard, we follow the standard that I did it myself, so it's nothing that's impossible for anyone else to follow. And if you can't, I want to know why, and I can help you develop. But if you don't want to, you're in the way. You understand? It's as simple as that. We're in it to win it, basically. So.
I'm going to segue into community policing. Oftentimes, communities like Lawrence struggle having law enforcement build an amazing relationship with the community. What strategies would you say that you would have in place to foster and strengthen those relationships with our law enforcement, with our community members?
Our law enforcement officers, I think, are organically very in tune with our community. I think that, and I have mentioned it, that last couple of years or so, for various reasons, I think that we became a little bit negligent with the formula that worked for us, with the formula that brought us close. That includes informational platforms, that includes engagement. And I understand that COVID played a large part in that to a large extent. Once COVID came around, community neighborhood association meetings and that kind of fell apart. A lot of the stuff that we were doing kind of fell apart, and we never found our way back. And I think we have to get back. We have to evaluate what doesn't work. We have to get back to what does work. And what does work is communication. We have to get back to the community neighborhood association meetings. We have to get back into the schools. We have to get back into the youth programs. We have to get back into having an open door policy to the extent that communication comes in our way as well, where we can get feedback from everybody else. I don't see by and large that there's a large divide among our community and our department. There really isn't. There might be misunderstandings here and there, but I don't see a divide between our department and our community. There are those that are going to complain all the time. This is law enforcement. It is inherently a conflict of interest when somebody wants to do whatever they want to do, and we stand for law and order. Understand, public order must prevail because we're all entitled to that safety and security that it brings. When someone deviates from that, we're in conflict. But I think that we all want the same thing. The community at large wants their children to be able to walk in the park without stumbling over a needle, without human feces in the sidewalks, without being worried about some vagrants in the dark. And our kids have every right to do that. Come walk home from school and come back. Our women should be safe. They should feel that they can call us and be safe from domestic abuse, that we have the resources to help them. We shouldn't have to be walking down Essex Street concerned about 3,000 motorcycles and people doing wheelies and launching 3,000-pound vehicles at our citizens. We're going to have a conflict with them, but everybody else in the community who wants peace and quiet, we have no conflict there. We have a teamwork there, and we're going to need them as much as they need us.
Councilman, before you continue, let me recognize Mayor DePeña, Brian A. Peña, that is here. Welcome, Mayor. Councilman, you might continue.
What are the first three things that you will be a priority for you? What are you going to focus on within your first 90 days?
So one of the things that have been affecting us the most and has has consequences that aren't intended, I think the very first one, it has to do with recruitment and retention of personnel. I think that we have to get back to recruitment. I think that we have to get back to the business of perpetual recruitment, and that means engaging the community, that means advertising, that means reaching out to the youth, that means explaining to people what it is we do and how what we do helps everyone. And I think that those are the things that I need to do. I need to really take a look at what our lateral transfers protocols are. We certainly need to vet them out extensively to make sure that they want to come to the city and to serve the community. But we need to get back to that. I think that that alleviates a lot of the stresses that our officers see. Our officers are dealing with over 60,000 calls for service per year. It wears you out. And, and it affects morale, and it affects your mental health and everything else. We need to be fully staffed in order that we don't burn out our troops, if you will. So that's something that to me is a huge priority. It's going to cut down on overtime. There are other positive results that come from that. But first is our mental health, and first is our, to be fully staffed. That way we can provide the services that we need. Another one is, and this is an internal issue with regards to budget management, but that is something that we can deal with at length at a later time. But as it pertains to the community, I think that at this point we are at a very good spot where we have, through the hard work of the men and women of this department, reached a good level of the Part 1 crimes. We have really nailed down Part 1 crimes. And it isn't though as it went away. This is a daily battle that we have, keeping that under control. And to the extent that we now complain about standard of living issues, I think that we've turned the corner. That's a very good thing for us. I really believe that. But that has to do with the motorcycle groups that I just mentioned. We have to think out of the box. There are a couple of programs and initiatives that I'd like to initiate. But it also has to do with the vagrant issue. We see them in our downtown areas. We see them near our schools. We see them near our parks. And it feeds into a perception that is inconsistent with the state of the city. The state of the city is strong. The state of the city is vibrant. We are growing. Many beautiful things happening. And I say this all the time. But it is overshadowed when you drive down the street and you see the type of people that we're talking about. And I say this over and over. Let us not conflate homelessness with vagrancy. They're two separate things. To be homeless is not a crime, but to be doing the things that the vagrants do, to be harassing people, to be doing the drugs and the prostitution and all of the consequential crimes that come with that, that is a problem. And that's a problem that I intend to address. I know it's not an easy problem, but we're going to get to it.
Just to end this on an amazing note, what legacy do you hope to leave as police chief, if appointed?
One of the things that I think that we've all complained about, and this is coming up through the ranks and everything else for many, many years of law enforcement, is the things that happen to bother us is I think that we've moved away from merit-based principles. One of the legacies that I want to leave is I want the men and women of the Lawrence Police Department to feel good about coming to work, to feel secure, to feel like a family again, to feel that they are not beholden to any politicians, they are not beholden to anyone out there. They're only here as part and parcel of a family that are here to serve the community. That their rise to the top stands in merit-based principles when they earn their way to the top. They do it through their action. And I will always stand behind them, and I will always support them, and I will always help them evolve and to grow correctly through education, through preparation, through training. Those are the principles that keep an organization like any police department moving forward. I want the legacy to be I could look back when it's all said and done and say, you know what? I did that. I was with them. We did that together. Not I came here and I worked for 27 years and I'm gone and here's my pension and I'm off somewhere else. We could look back and say, we made a difference. We professionalized the department. We trained the department. We are the envy of everyone around us. And we are not that far off. We are not that far off at all. We have the very best anywhere, bar none.
I thought I was finished, but that comment brought me to something to question. You just said you guys are not that far off. Mention one thing that the department needs to work on.
Well, right now I think that we have to do some housekeeping. What we have to work on right now is to get back to the rank structure, the chain of command. I think we need to get back to our unity of vision, our unity of command, and our unity of mission. I think that we just need to get back to focusing on what is important, why we are here, and what our role is in this team, because it's all a big team. Not everybody can be the pitcher, not everybody can be in left field somewhere. We need to know what everybody's role is, what our strengths and weaknesses are, so that we can contribute to the growth of this community.
Right, thank you so much. The next person that we have is Councilor Laplante.
Thank you very much, Council President.
This is it. Go ahead.
If you put her far away a little more.
How's that?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
You can hear.
So, first of all, I want to give some kudos to a few folks. Kudos to the Personnel Committee. I watched the meetings, for asking some excellent questions and for doing the proper vetting. I had a chance to watch it, and I thought it was very helpful and informative, and I thought it was fantastic, so kudos to them. I also want to think, as I'm thinking about the comments tonight, we've been without a police chief since January of, essentially, since Vasquez left, for a permanent chief since January of 2023. and that's almost 2.5 years. And we've had some people who stepped up. One of those people who stepped up as acting chief is Chief McCarthy, who's here today. I want to thank him publicly for, in a very difficult situation, serving our city and serving as best as he possibly could to try to keep us on the straight path for as long as he could. And so thank you, Chief McCarthy, for your dedication into our city. I appreciate that. As I approached looking at Captain Aguilar, it reminded me of, and I told him this when I met him, this thing called the devil's advocate. Does anybody know what that means, a devil's advocate? A devil's advocate was actually something that was used back in the 1500s, if you can go back that far, in the Catholic Church. There was actually a Pope Leo at the time, I think it was the 10th at the time. And what he wanted to do before someone could get canonized, they wanted to find out all the stuff they could find out about that person before that person can become a saint. Now, I'm not saying that Captain Aguilar is a saint, but I approached this saying, okay, I've heard a lot of stuff. I hear the good and the bad, but I wanted to dig in as much as I possibly could to find out more about that and make sure this selection and my vote tonight is going to be the right vote for the city of Lawrence today and going for the foreseeable future. And so I think my process is important. I've asked him the questions. I spent 2 hours with him talking. I've watched the videos. I've done the stuff, so I have a very good understanding. I listened to him again tonight about the directions that he wants to go in, what he wants to see. I've got a pretty good handle on that, right? But I wanted to know how we got to this spot and why I should be casting one of 9 votes for Captain Aguilar. So, in my devil's advocacy mission, the first place that I went to was the personnel department. Makes sense, right? So I wanted to see, what did his personnel file have? Now listen, you can't escape. We don't have our heads in the sand. We all know the stuff. We all see the social media. Some of us hear the radio shows. We all read the newspaper. We understand there's a track record, right? Good and bad and stuff we're not going to talk about tonight. But I wanted to find out from the source. So what's the best place to go? The personnel file. You know what's in the personnel file? Not much. Not much at all. A couple of layoff notices that are coming in, you're returning back to the force, a couple of promotional kind of things, maybe some adjusted pay stubs, etc. There is nothing, good or bad. There's nothing about the 2017 Medal of Valor, the January 17 Officer of the Year Award, the March 2007 Life Saving Award for Valor, the March 2004 Medal of Valor, nothing. And there was nothing on the stuff, there was no annual performance reviews. Nobody had a chance to go ahead, and the captain's been on the force now for 28 years or 27 years?
27 years.
27 years. But guess, zero, nothing. Shocking to me that in a city like ours, over 28 years, I can't find one performance review to see how this employee of the city has been doing. I'm afraid that that's maybe, I hope that's an outlier and that's not current, but I don't have a lot of confidence right now. So that's the first place I went to. Second place I went to is, what can I get from internal affairs? I kind of knew the answer before I went there. The answer is, they probably have some, but they can't talk to me, and it's all for good reason, not available to the public or to me as an office holder. Understand that, not a problem. So I've talked to people who he has reported to. I've asked people who reports to him, up and down, to get a sense from him. I've heard good things. I've heard good things about Captain Aguilar. And so as I was going through this process, I felt like there's all this smoke and all this stuff, and I listened to this, but I really needed to get details. I needed facts. And yes, I went to Post. I went to look to see what was in Post. Any one of us can go online. Any one of us can take a look at that. They had 2 or 3 things that are on there. And the problem with just relying on that is that what I found out was that Captain Aguilar, while there may be some allegations, did not have an opportunity to refute those allegations. So there are allegations out there. And what the captain said during the personnel committee meeting, he says, when somebody throws out allegations about you, just the mere allegations, just the mere comment on that, they've already done the damage. You already have done it. He doesn't have his day in court. He can't go out there and start trying to repair his reputation. And I don't know, frankly, because there's been no investigation, but I have no idea. So all I know is what I have that's official. And the official stuff that I have on Captain Aguilar is good. I'm going to say this. This is a risk. This is not without some risk. We're looking at an internal candidate versus an external candidate. What are the good with going with an external candidate? Well, going with an external candidate, which we're not dealing with this evening, but a good thing about an external candidate is you get a fresh pair of eyes. They don't have any kind of connections or loyalties or whatever with the current regiment and the police officers. So there's a fresh sheet of paper. Everybody gets to do something on their own. But the problem with the external candidates, they don't know our city. They're coming from wherever they're coming from. We're unique, I think, a unique city. We have similar challenges of others, but some unique challenges. So in this particular case, I'm not so sure about the external candidate. Let's talk about the internal candidate. The internal candidate, now that person has went up the ranks. Now, Captain Aguilar started from the very bottom, and he's at where he is right now. But with that comes relationships. With that comes things, right? So that's a difficult challenge. Can you, Captain Aguilar, deal with individuals who you've known for your entire professional life? I'm going to ask you that question in a second. On the flip side of that is he knows the city. He gets it. And if we don't go with Captain Aguilar today, I don't know where we're going to be starting tomorrow. So let me ask you this question, through you, Captain Aguilar. One of the challenges of an internal candidate is that internal candidates can be a little cozy with the people. Friends, right? How are you going to handle that?
Well, I could tell you, it's a loaded question, and that was a loaded statement, Counselor. But what I can tell you is this. My relationship with everyone that I work for and work with throughout my whole career has been premised on respect. It has been premised on respect and the understanding that we all have a duty to do, and that we hold ourselves to that particular standard of doing that duty. I have sacrificed many, many things. I have seen many terrible things, and yes, insofar as where, the personnel records, what they did with it, they didn't do with it, that is beyond my pay grade and certainly not my responsibility. I can tell you that it is well documented, the things that I have done through newspapers, through, even other individuals that have the awards and things like that. But I know that's not where you're going with it. What I want to say to you is that everybody who stands by my side knows me and knows what I stand for. And they either stand with me or they stand behind me. There's no two ways about it. Everybody knows, too, that we're here to serve the community. The community comes first. It comes first before me. It comes first before them. It's about our community. And so everybody knows what job they need to do. I've never been unfair with anyone I've disciplined, ever. When I have done so, it's been from a place of love. I have critiqued people. I've given them the opportunity. And look at this organization, like anyone, like in this room, like any organization, you're going to have one or two individuals who really just don't want to play ball. They want to get over. They want to skirt. They want to do whatever they need to do. That's fine. They're the outliers. Like I said, like a coach, I'm going to sit them on the bench because we're here to win the game. We're not here to be buddies. I'm not here to be friends. I have lived my life in front of everyone here, my community. I have stumbled, I have stood up, but you can't shine a diamond without some friction. And I have learned by everything that has happened, all things good, all things bad, has been for me, a lesson for me, and it has built me to be who I am here today. And I'm not ashamed of anything that I've ever done. I would do it again, and it's just that simple. I've never done anything to harm anyone. I've never done anything illegal. Whatever people want to fantasize or say or whatever the case may be, it's no concern of mine. What I am concerned with is moving this department forward, serving this community, and keeping us all safe and building a better community for our kids so that they can be out there at night and not have to worry about getting robbed or stabbed or getting turned on to drugs. I want this community to continue to grow. That's what I'm focused on. The past is gone. It's made me who I am today. I stand here solid on my credentials, and I don't look back or apologize for anything. So I guess that's the answer.
Council President, I don't want to spend much more time, but I want to thank Captain Aguilar for his willingness to serve our city in this additional capacity. This is not an easy job. We all know that. He's going to be working with us. We know the issues as far as our constituents are concerned. And I think Captain Aguilar understands it from being on the force now for 27 years at a variety of different levels. I said this before, this is a bit of a risk, but Captain Aguilar, I'm willing to take that risk with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Laplante. The next person, the next councilor is Councilor Santiago.
Good evening, Captain Aguilera, and thank you for being here, and thank you for applying for this position. And I would like to say thank you for your perseverance. That means work a lot. And I think if you will be appointed here, you will be a good chief because you work, you know the experience, you have the experience, and you know the law, and you will work with your heart. If you do it with your heart, you will do it good. But I have a question from my constituent last weekend. They started calling me about motorcycle and noise. It is summer already, and they want to know about new strategies and what will happen this year, this summer with the new police.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that affects everybody. The issue with the motorcycles, as I've said before, is a national issue. It's affecting everyone across Los Angeles, Worcester, many, many cities. And the issue with that is it's not a police issue. I think it's a legislative issue. We are restricted from chasing. They know that. The liabilities on our police officers if they try to take some action. We just had a recent police officer who was, not cleared, cleared for firing into a person who was riding a motorcycle into him, not one of ours, but within the state. But he was facing criminal charges because he tried to defend himself. We also run a risk of when they scatter, we put the public at large at risk. So we're faced with a very serious issue in that regard. However, that doesn't mean that there's nothing we can do. I do have some zero tolerance projects and operations that I want to implement going forward, but I think that only puts a Band-Aid on the injury. I think that we need better help from the state legislature. I want to petition. I want to meet, group up with other chiefs, regional chiefs, because we don't have to do it alone when it affects us all. And I want to petition the state legislature, our senators and the like. We need stronger laws on that. We need their licenses taken away for a period of time. We need the insurance rates to go up. We need maybe some incarceration. As it stands right now, we're giving them tickets. You know what I mean? And it's just not, oh, thank you. I don't think that by and large it's really, what we've done in the past has been very effective. But with that said, I want to do a lot of things. I have other ideas, and I'm going to be looking and researching, which is what I do best. And we're going to tailor something to our city that works for us. But we're going to need help. We're going to need help from the state legislature. We'll need help from you. If I can find any ordinance, you know what I mean, with some teeth, we'll do that. I know that we have an ordinance that we can confiscate their motorcycles. But you guys know the process after that is lengthy. They can get it back. It defeats the purpose. We need something more punitive. But I would be more than happy to discuss, like individually with you, what we can do. There's some streets that we might be able to put some speed bumps on or whatever that we know that they like to fly around on. Motorcycle, I don't know if you guys ride, but it's not very pleasant to hit a speed bump, especially if you're being not pursued, but attempted to be stopped by a police officer. So we're working on it.
Thank you.
All right. Any other councilors? Councilor Reyes.
Comment. I want to say thank you to our chief Bonilla too, because his commitment and dedication for our community was amazing. And what I can say to Captain Aguilar, he working with us through our community through decades. So I want to say thank you for applying for this position and working for our community with passion and dedication. We're moving forward.
It's my honor.
Thank you, Councilor Reyes. Any other councilors? All right, some facts that I would like to bring up to the table. Public safety in the city of Lawrence, the budget for the public safety is about 7.76%, which means that about $36 million are dedicated to public safety. Out of that, about $18,520,000 are dedicated for the police department. With a total increase for this year, fiscal year 2026, of about $700,000. You are going to be facing a total amount of 197 people. Out of that, 10 people are going to be administrators, 2 people are from the animal control, and also 185 people, which is the force that you're going to be managing and you're going to be relying, for a total of 197 people in this fiscal year 2026 budget as we face. So just to bring that up to the public to know as to what's going to be your next budget, perhaps. Any other councilors? So at this point, I will, do we have a motion? I don't think we have a motion to approve yet.
Motion to approve?
Do?
Second.
Wait a minute, let's look at the motion. Wait. Councilor President Infante? All right, there is a motion to approve, properly second. Who was the second? Councilor Reyes. I mean, the reason what I'm asking is because, I mean, on the minutes, we wanted to reflect that. There is a motion to approve, properly second. All those in favor?
Roll call vote, Council President.
Yes. All those in favor, please say aye. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
I'm going to start with Councilor Reyes. Councilor Reyes?
Yes.
Councilor Marmol?
Yes.
Councilor Santiago?
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Councilor Luzon?
Yes.
Councilor Laplante?
Yes.
Councilor Levy?
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante?
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez?
I vote yes. Congratulations.
Motion for a 2-minute recess.
So there is a motion to recess, properly second. Discussion, there is none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Is it good now?
Yes. Perfect. So, Chief, so very quickly, the City Council understands, we understand our history. We think it's really important to understand our history, and that way we can do better jobs today and tomorrow. And there's a book that was written by Ronald DeSantis that's called The Lawrence Police Department, Heroes Wear Blue. And all of us think, since you are now our new chief, what better gift for you today as you now take the reins of the department going forward, that you understand a little bit about the past a little bit as well. So we signed all this on our hands for you. We want to make sure you have a successful start off, and that's from all of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I really
You got it.
Thank you. We're proceeding with committee meetings. The first item that we have is from the Budget and Finance Committee. Madam Vice President Infante and the Chair of the Budget and Finance Committee. Item 16525.
Through you, Council President, item 165-25, the authorization to expend $120,000 towards the payoff of Housing Stabilization Fund Neighborhood Restoration Initiative loan was sent up as a committee report, and I make that as a formal motion.
There's a motion on the table, second by Councilor Reyes. Discussion. I hear none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. Item 16625.
Motion to approve.
There's a motion to approve item 16625, which is the transfer of $1,281,354 from the retaining earnings to funds of GLSD fiscal year 2025 assessment. It's been motion on the table, properly second. Any discussion on the matter? Any discussion on the matter? I hear none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. Item 16725, Madam Vice President Infante.
Item 166-25, transfer in the amount of $1,002,000.
No. The next one, 167.
160. Oh,
We did 166.
I didn't do 166. You skipped 166.
Which one we did?
Let's go 166.
Council President, I was under the impression we just did 166. That's what I voted for.
We just did 165, authorization to expend $120,000 that was sent up as a committee report. That's the one we just did.
So there was sent as a committee report. So just to clarify the motion was to accept that as a committee report.
And then I motioned to approve, yep.
All right, okay, no problem. So the motion going to reflect, the first one is the committee report, and the second one is a motion to approve item 16525. Now we go on to item 16625, Madam Vice President Infante.
Item 166-25, the transfer in the amount of $1,281,354 from retained earnings to fund the Greater Lawrence Sanitation District's FY25 assessment was sent up with a favorable recommendation, and I make that as a formal motion.
There is a motion on the table, seconded by Councilor Reyes. Any discussion on the matter? Just give us a second. Any discussion to the Water Commissioner on this matter?
Good evening, councilors.
Name and address for the record, and explain to us a little more about that money to be
Sure.
transferred.
William Hale, Water and Sewer Commissioner, 400 Water Street. So this transfer is basically, we receive a credit in Q3 of the assessment based on our flows. So we received our credit, that reduces the Q3 payment. And now once we get that, the Q4 total, we're transferring this money to make the final payment. The payment is hold on one second. $1,891,341 is the Q4 payment.
Councilors, any question? All right, I hear none.
Council President.
Councilor Levy.
Yes, can you repeat the amount because it's not the same?
No, the amount that he mentioned is the total. The amount that we transfer is the balance.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
No
You're
problem. Any questions? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. Item 16725, Madam Vice President Infante.
Item 167-25, the transfer in the amount of $792,000 from free cash to the fire department overtime account was sent up at favorable recommendation, and I make that as a formal motion.
Second.
There's a motion on the table, seconded by Councilor Santiago. Discussion on the matter.
Council President, I'm just,
Councilor Laplante.
as we're heading toward the end of this year, do we know how much is left in free cash?
15 million.
We will provide you with the exact number, but it's about 15 million, about.
Thank you.
Any other questions in regard to this matter? I have a question. Chief,
Yes.
the 792,000 for from free cash to the overtime account. Can you give us an overall also how much money in total we have used and how much
Sure.
money we expecting to use?
Sure. Provisional Fire Chief Patrick Delaney, 65 Lowell Street. We had 1 million in the beginning, and I believe Chief Moriarty the former chief, has been up here the last 5 years. Every year, the fire department usually comes back and asks for a little bit more. Right now, it is $792,000. The 1 million we were awarded in overtime, really our 14th pay period, we extinguished that. And it's a working document. We expect that we're going to come under that. If we do, then that money will go back into free cash. I could explain some of the reasons why we have overtime in the fire department, if that would be helpful, some of the driving factors. There's really two types of overtimes that we have. One of them is emergencies. So you could, if we had a 3-alarm fire or something like that, we call back members, a whole nother group. They get investigated, the fires, and also we have communities come in to make sure that the rest of the public is safe, and we put pilots with them. So those are the things that we can't predict. Since I've been in the spot the last 3-4 weeks, we've been very busy. We had a unified command presence at the boat ramp for a number of days. That was with a little bit of overtime. We had a Tier 1 hazmat, and we've had about 6 fires or so. So those are the unpredictable things. Some of the more predictable, based on past years, we could anticipate what we're going to spend, and some of the driving factors of that is, firefighting's inherently dangerous, so we always have 5 to 8 members that are injured in the line of duty. For example, we just had 6. We had a couple come back, and then a couple more went out. So besides that, there's contractual things such as vacation. There's sick time, and there's some other factors. But we could look at years past, and we could predict what we're going to expend. So right now, we're asking for $792,000 into the overtime budget from free cash, and we're hoping that we come underneath that. We're hoping not to expend all of that.
So there is 2 types of overtime, the predictable and the non-predictables.
Yes.
You have a total amount that in average for the last 2-3 years
The
per
predictable,
month.
the last couple of years, I believe, last year we were asking for $633,975, and the year before that it was about $695,000. So right now we're getting into our prime time, which contractually 9 people are allowed off. We do have a high number of injured in the line of duty, and then it's really tough to predict. As we said, the last couple weeks have been busy with our fires. There's also some other things. The mutual aid agreements, we get a lot of help when we have fires. Well, when other communities have fires also, we have mutual aid given. So if somebody has a big fire, since I've been In my position, we've been out to Haverhill twice, Andover a couple times, and I believe Newbury had like a 6-alarm fire. So our mutual aid agreement is 1 and 1. We'll give another community 1 ladder and 1 pump. And when we do that, we still want to make sure that the community is protected, the community is safe. So we hire 3 members to staff a spare pump to make sure that the citizens of our city is still protected. But the aid received far outweighs the aid given to other communities. So it's really, it's tough to predict, when we're gonna have fires. We wanna be proactive. Our fires are down, but you never know. The last couple of weeks, we've been very busy.
So essentially, this $780,000 is expected to be used in fiscal year 2026?
That's just to get us to the end of the year.
To December?
So in the 26 pay periods, the 1 million that we were afforded, the last couple of years before that was 950,000. That extra 50,000 was really taken up in contractual raises. By pay period 14, I believe we expended the $1 million that was awarded to us, and the last prediction, the last 6, we're looking at about approximately 360,000. That's a high number, but it is coming into prime time, and we base that off some of our previous years, what we've spent in those months. They're high numbers.
When you said that that's going to bring us to the end of the year, you mean the fiscal year?
The fiscal year, yes.
So until June 30?
Yes.
With this amount?
Yes.
And after that, is expected to...
And then we'll start the new budget year. I believe coming up, we're asking for the same level funded at $1 million. And at that, I'll expect that, hopefully it's me, that will be back in front of the council next year asking for some more money. We're going to try to do some initiatives that are going to try to lower that number, but it's usually around that 700,000. But if, I'm going to try to do some initiatives to try to lower that number. But historically, the chief that was here before me, he was in front of this council every year asking for approximately that much. There are some initiatives and things that we could do to lower that number. And, I'm looking in, my team's taking a deep dive into seeing some of the things, some strategies that we could do to lower that number for next year.
Yeah, and I understand. I mean, I've been voting in favor of those every time that they get presented to us. But I mean, we need to understand that we need to develop those long-term strategies to be able to afford the fire department. And what I mean by that is that something that we should be looking into potentially hiring more?
That's another factor that drives up the overtime. We're staffed for really 124 members, where right now we have six spots that are open. So it's actually a strategy to, some communities actually around here prefer to keep their numbers low, and they just pay the overtime. That is a strategy. When you start hiring more people, the only way to really, clamp down on the overtime, one of the ways is to hire us to our full extent. NFPA standards would be 31 on a shift, and then that would allow us to not really go below our 24 minimum manning. Like right now, before we even start, on average, it's like 22 members. So before we have anybody injured in the line of duty, anybody taking contractual vacation time, personal time, any sick time, we're already starting, behind. So that would be one of the ways is to hire. We did have some interviews, and we are, that is in personnel's hands right now, but that's one of the things we're doing. We have openings. We also have anticipated retirements, so we are looking to bring our numbers up, and that will also help. But again, there's a cost with hiring a new employee. To outfit a brand-new firefighter with their gear, with their equipment, that's $10,000, then insurance and everything else comes along. So it's really just a balance, but we are looking at a lot of different ways, initiatives that we could do. Some could be contractual, some are strategies that we're gonna look into to lower this number for next year.
All right, thank you, Chief. Appreciate your answer.
Sure.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
All right, we continue with the top of the agenda, item 16825, Madam Vice President Infante.
Item 168-25, authorization to expend in the amount of $173,166 from the Green Communities Competitive Grant for upgrades to Lawrence High School was sent up as a favorable recommendation, and I make that as a formal motion.
Second.
A motion on the table, seconded by Councilor Reyes. Any discussion?
I got a question.
Councilor Laplante.
For you, who's the funding agent for the green communities, Who's the funding agent?
Good evening, Daniel McCarthy, Planning Director, on behalf of the city's Director Department, 360 Merrimack Street.
Who is the funding agent? Who is the green communities? Is that a state agency? Is that a nonprofit agency? What is that?
Yeah, it's the Executive Office for Energy in the state. So this is a regular grant that we've been getting since we became a green community. I think this is the 4th grant we've gotten on this thing.
So this comes out of EOEEA?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions, councilors? I hear none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. And let's go now to item 17424 from the Ordinance Committee. Councilor Laplante and the Chair of the Ordinance Committee.
The Ordinance Committee sent this document up. This is a document to approve the change of polling locations for Precinct B4 from the Vale Brooks Apartments and North Common Education Complex. This was sent up to the full council with a favorable recommendation, and to make that in the form of a motion.
There's a motion on the table, seconded by Councilor Reyes. Any discussion? I hear none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. Item 17525, Councilor Brown.
So document 17525 is the approval of the change of polling location for precinct C3 from Arlington Park Apartments to the Arlington School. Sent up to the full council with a favorable recommendation, to make that in the form of a motion.
There is a motion to approve item 17525, second by Councilor Levy. Any discussion? Any discussion, Councilor? I hear none. Please, Madam Clerk. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. Item 17825.
For 17825, this is filled a position vacant for more than 6 months as the neighborhood planner. This was sent up to the full council with a favorable recommendation pending further information as to the reasons why the position has not been filled by the department to date. So I make that in the form of a motion.
The motion is to approve?
Motion to approve pending what I'm about to hear, I think. So, yes.
Good evening, everyone. Carol Garcia, Personnel Director. We're here asking for the permission to post and fill this position that has been vacant for over 6 months. Here in support are Director McCarthy and also Acting Director Charlotte Pasquale. I did email over to the committee the reasons for which this position is important now, and I believe that Dan McCarthy has something prepared and ready to read, which is, I think, the same thing I was going to read, so I'm going to allow him to read it for you.
So, just please focus first on the information that it was requested by the committee and then anything else.
Yeah, I think the request was to what the, you know, what the nature of the job is and why it needs to be filled after this time. And I've been with the city for 21 years. Since I've been here, there's always been a neighborhood planner through all administrations. We haven't had one for the last 3 years. I know the mayor's been very interactive with the public and has been full, you know, that was part of his pledge when he took over, was to be a communication with the neighbors and the residents of the city. And that's a big part of this position. I know if you look at the description of the job, it seems fairly dry, but the neighborhood planner position is really, it requires a person who's going to get out there. The statement I've sent to you was more of like a historical description of the neighborhood planner. It said, the city of Lawrence is and always has been a community of neighborhoods, with different neighborhoods defined by geography, with rivers, hills, and valleys defining these neighborhoods. In the past, neighborhood groups grew organically, bound by common interests based on where they live. This position was created to foster better communications between the neighborhoods and the elected officials, a way of creating direct communications to respond quickly and accurately to the concerns of the neighbors and residents. Prior to the pandemic, there are no less than 8 neighborhood groups representing the city. During the COVID period, these organizations suffered. We now only have 2 or 3 regular meeting groups, and I think the goal of the city is to increase that number. I actually looked at some of the old neighborhood maps from years before today, and in 2008 we had 10 neighborhood groups. In 2012 we actually had 13 neighborhood groups, and the last map I saw was 2014, and we had 8 neighborhood groups at the time. And I know some of the neighborhood groups are coming back. A couple of others are still functioning, but I think the city would like to restore that, the neighborhood groups and the participation among that. So that's why this job is really essential. It's not just a planning job. I think of it also as like a job of communications.
Can you go over the education experience and salary?
You should have a copy of the neighborhood planner, and the employee should have a master's degree in urban planning, public administration, or other related field, and 2 years of experience, a bachelor's degree in urban planning, public, and 4 years of experience, or an equivalent combination of both education and experience.
Councilors, any questions? And the salary is level 4, what's that mean?
I know the salary is in the Collins report with a range. I don't know it off the top of my head. Do you? No, but it is I believe it's a level E on the Collins report. So that would be a range of about $20,000. It's usually like 50 to 70,000 is a range.
Councilor Laplante.
So, thank you for the information that you got. We're talking about stuff going forward. I think, I don't want to spend much more time on this, but did something, because we've been without this position for at least 6 months, probably much longer, can you give us an example of what slipped through the cracks because we didn't have it? Had we had this position, we would have gotten whatever it is we were looking for.
Well, the planning department just came up with a new program called OPD in the neighborhood, and they had an event last week, or was it this week? Where they went out to a neighborhood in North Lawrence around, and met the neighbors, put up tables, and then went door to door speaking to people. So that's the kind of community engagement that they're seeking to do. Again, it's trying to encourage different elements and different avenues of communication and get as much information as we can.
So I'm not focused completely yet like some of my colleagues are on the budget, but from my 30,000-foot observation on the budget, we've got a streamlined a level budget. Is that close to accurate? A
Well-
level budget, and so the level budget plus increased costs means essentially we're going to be reducing services and reducing things at their pragmatic level. So the point is, we're adding another position to a budget that's already tight. And I'm just wondering, it's a budgetary question that talks about priorities. If we're going to add this here, are we cutting something someplace else? So I'm just wondering how that's going to play out.
Well, we'll probably be addressing that tomorrow night at the Budget Committee, but it is, again, this is an element of the planning department that's been there for more than 20 years. We've always had them. The position kind of spans the gap between the administration and the planning office. Somebody that, again, goes to these neighborhood meetings, goes to PTO meetings, goes to different events around the city, and provides this information back to the administration, back to the planning department. That feedback's important for us to get. We get it on an individual basis, but I think when you deal with individuals, you get kind of a skewed opinion of what is really important to the city. I think when you meet with neighborhood groups in large groups, you get a more rounded feel of what the neighborhoods and what the people in the city really feel is important to them.
I'll be voting for this tonight with the understanding that with my vote here this evening, things could change between now and the budget time and during the course of the next fiscal year. And we're, things may be looking rosy now, but they may not be so rosy down the road. And positions like this that are late to the game, someone's going to be looking at it and say, do we really need it? So that's the prism that I'm looking at stuff now because I'm expecting tight times. Yeah. Thank you.
Understood.
Council President.
Councilor Vice President, I have a few questions that I would like to ask Mr. McCarthy about this position. Mr. McCarthy, when you look at the education experience and the actual duty of the job, they don't quite correlate. And the reason why I said that is because when you look at the career of a neighborhood planner or a planner, it's more related to engineering, but the description itself within the same ordinance, it talk about something else. That's why the experience talk about a master degrees on planning.
Right.
And essentially that doesn't correlate to the actual work that the neighborhood planners do. So that's kind of like, it's like, to me, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And looking at it from the engineering perspective as a professional on that area, that's completely different than what we're doing.
Yeah.
A planner is more related to actual planning and actual perhaps designing the potential advance of the community and perhaps the neighborhoods. But that's not the case out here, based on the conflicted descriptions you have on the ordinance itself. Not you have, but I mean the city have. That's what I meant. So I'm not supporting this position today. And the reason why I'm not supporting this position today is because I think that we got to be fiscal responsible first. We got a budget that was introduced to the city council. And the discussion was, at the beginning of the discussion was last night. And on that budget, it was presented to the city council that we're going to increase, we're going to go to the maximum levy to the maximum levy, which means that we're going to have about 2.5% increasement plus new growth. And the new growth is stipulated to be at about $1.2 million. If we increase in taxes, to me, that doesn't make any sense to have new positions because, I mean, we are reducing the quality of the service, basically, based on the statement that the mayor present to us. And we are during times that we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. There was an email back and forth on the CDBG's funds from the administration, within the administration personnel. So we don't know what's going to happen with the city of Lawrence tomorrow. And having a position to be filled today, nowadays, that means that potentially we might put at risk other services that are already in place. If we look at what we have on the description, and if we look at what we have on the education portion of it, this position is conflicting, and it's not quite clear. You can, based on your statement, you have actually the historical portion of what the position have done in the past. On the description, you also, that could relate with the description of the position. But I don't think that nowadays, today, having a budget that is going to be balanced based on increasing taxes to the max, I don't think that's going to be a good idea to do. And another time, potentially, I'll go with it as far as we clear up what is the actual responsibility of the position. But at this time, I don't think we're going to be able to, I don't think it's a good idea to start hiring people at this time when we are actually saying on the memo from the budget fiscal year 2026 that we are on a critical time. So I'm not supporting this position today, unfortunately. I would like to, but I can't.
Thank you, Council President. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, what was the motion again, Madam Clerk?
Motion to approve.
The motion is motion to approve. All those in favor say aye.
No.
Aye. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilor Levy? No. Councilor Laplante?
Yes.
Councilor Luzon?
No.
Councilor Del Rosario?
Stay.
Councilor Santiago?
No.
Councilor Marmol?
No.
Councilor Reyes?
Yes.
Council Vice President? I'm sorry, my Council President.
I vote no.
Council Vice President.
No.
Thank you.
Motion fails.
What's the count?
2 in favor.
The 2 in favor, motion fails.
All right, thank you. Let's go back to the top of the agenda. Item 17925, the Chair of the Ordinance Committee, Councilor Laplante.
The ordinance, this is a document to disclose the conflict of a municipal employee and Jelly Bisono.
Bisono.
Thank you. I'll take whatever question you want to give me. I'll take it all.
You did good.
Thank you.
You did good.
I get to see. Sent to the full council with favorable recommendation and make that in the form of a motion.
There is a motion on the table to send it to the council as a fair recommendation. Second by Councilor De Rosario. Any discussion? What is the person?
President,
Councilor Rosario.
I mean, she works at the Budget and Finance Department. They were here all day today. They had a presentation.
Angeli Bisono.
She was here yesterday through the budget. So it's just a conflict of interest report. And I mean, what question were we going to ask?
No, that's fine.
She's going to keep notes. So
I recognize Councilor de Santiago that she's asking for the person. That's fair. And we also understand that the person was here for a long period of time, and that's also fine. Any other questions? I hear none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. So now we're going to Personnel Committee with item 19925, the appointment of Edwin Mata to the Zoning Board.
Council President, I would like to make a motion to
But hold
table.
on 1 second. Let's go to. We're gonna have to executive session. Go ahead.
To table item 199-25.
Motion to
Second.
table. Properly second. No discussion on the table matters. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Now we're going to item 20325, which is the communication from the mayor, city official, city attorney. And this item is about litigations on the Wage Act and other litigations cases. It's an update from the city attorney, and the city attorney is asking to go into the secure sessions. Can you provide us with the proper language, please?
This would be going to an executive session for planning regarding litigation, strategy or planning, whichever you prefer.
Are you expecting to have these on how many minutes?
5 at
5
tops.
minutes? 5 up top. See, let's go into the executive session. Councilors, there is a motion. Can I have a motion with the proper language to go into the executive session as the city attorney states?
So,
There is a motion on the table, second by Councilor Marmo. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it.
And you will be returning back into regular session.
5 minutes, okay? Let's go back to the executive session.
You needed something from us? No.
All right, Councilor Laplante.
I took.
The mics were off. Item 18125.
I'm going to repeat the motion.
Please.
Ordinance Committee sent document 18125 Impacto Lawrence on the Campanion Common from June 7th from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. with a favorable recommendation to make that in the form of a motion.
There's a motion on the table, properly second by Councilor Levy. Discussion. They were here before, they just need to leave, but they have all the paperwork in place. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Item 18325.
The Ordinance Committee met on this item, which is the Bohemian Sunset at Warehouse Park on June 19th through September 12th of this year from 6 to 9 p.m. This was sent up to the full council with a favorable recommendation to make that as a form of a motion.
There is a motion on the table, second by Councilor Levy. Any discussion? I hear none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
If any, the ayes have it. If anybody's wondering about where the Waterhouse Park is located, is on Union and Canal Street. Councilor Laplante, item 18425. Not on this one.
My colleagues, do we get anything from clearance?
We have a conflict on item 18425. Yeah, but we have a conflict in front of us.
The Ordinance Committee met on document 18425, the evangelism outreach Campanion Common on June 8th from 9 to 6 a.m. was sent up to the full council with a favorable recommendation pending the document that we now see. Make that in the form of a motion.
There's a motion on the table, properly second discussion, councilors. Just to bring up some conflict that we have in front of us, we have this item which is the same day as Semana Hispana, which is on June 8th. So if we think about both, they might don't go together. Madam Clerk, please give us some clarity. You want to speak?
I wish I had more clarity for you. Both parties have paperwork in their files signed off by Recreation.
Same day. June 8th.
June 8th.
It's not a conflict for us.
Oh, it's not in the park.
Because it's for, it's for when the machines come in, they're not.
Councilors, let's bring Semana Hispana together so we can discuss this potentially. Can I get a motion to untable? Oh, can you give us some clarity on this, very quick? I mean, no, I don't know. On June 8th, what is it that the Semana Hispana do?
We requested that Monday. Is the Monday to the next Sunday, which is for the machines to start.
Arriving.
Yeah.
So it's nothing.
Setting up. Nothing for us on June 8th
it's just set
in
up.
the park.
No problem. Councilors, going back to this item, item 18424, any discussion on the matter? I hear none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The ayes have it. Item 19225, sorry.
This document is to remove handicap parking at 71 Elm Street, was sent up to the full council with a favorable recommendation to order a public hearing. Make that in the form of a motion.
There's a motion to order a public hearing, properly second discussion. I hear none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Can I get a motion to pass 10?
To pass 10.
There's a motion to pass 10, second by Councilor Santiago. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Item 19325.
This document was sent up to the full council with a favorable recommendation. This is to order a public hearing. This is to remove handicap parking at 3 Danforth Street, and that's the motion.
There's a motion to order a public hearing to remove the handicap parking at 3 Dartmouth Street, properly second by Councilor Levy. Any discussion? I hear none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Now we're going to table matters. 131? Where?
131. Top 131.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm looking, no, truly, I definitely skipped it. I didn't mean to do that. Item 13125, I thought that was on the table matters. Item 13125, Fiesta Show Semana Hispana at the Companion Common from June 8 to June 16. Councilors, what's the motion? Councilor Laplante from the Ordinance Committee.
So by unanimous vote of 4-0, this was sent up to the council without a recommendation. This is for the Fiesta shows, Semana Hispana at the Companion Common from June 8th to June 16th. That's the motion.
The motion is to accept it as a committee report?
Yeah, we said without a recommendation, but I think it's the same thing as a committee report. We can go with that.
As a committee report, yes.
Sure.
There is a motion to accept this as a committee report, properly second by Councilor Reyes. All those in favor to accept this as a committee report?
Aye.
Please say aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Now, councilors, what's the motion?
Motion to approve.
There is a motion to approve, seconded by Councilor Santiago.
Discussion.
Any discussion?
Discussion.
Discussion, Councilor Vice President Infante.
Thank you. I'm just curious through you, Council President, to ask the Chair of the Ordinance, the reasoning for this item being brought up as a committee report, so I can have the full picture.
So, yeah, it's hard for me to say because every member of the council committee has their reasons for doing it. I can tell you what my reason was, is that, and others may share it, which was we didn't want to bias it one way or the other. We thought that I thought that the full council should have an opportunity. We didn't want to keep it there, stuck in the committee, in that committee. We wanted everybody here to have a chance to take a vote. So that's what it was sent up without it.
Thank you.
Through you, Council President. Something, the discussion went on the ordinance committee, and I thought it was better to bring it up, because some of us have different opinion of what we thought of the ordinance committee, so it's better to discuss it among all of us, and now we can discuss it, approve it, or deny it at this level.
Council
Aye.
President.
Councilor President Infante.
Thank you. As a follow-up to my colleague that just spoke, well, or the chair, doesn't matter. So the discussions are in the ordinance committee. What was the major concern or feedback that happened that night?
Through you.
Councilor Reyes.
The major concern is to maintain the condition to our park. Through the committee, they mentioned they have insured to cover any damage. And also, I want to follow the conversation because we mentioned through the committee, Mr. Flynn offered to have insured to cover any damage happened through the machine and maintain our park in better condition, what I give it to you guys.
All right. That was the discussion going on at the ordinance committee. It is important to recognize also that the park is going to be what do you mean? Okay, never mind. All right. Councilors, any discussion for Semana Hispana and Fiesta Show that are here in front of us? Councilor Laplante.
I've been in the middle of this for many years now. How many years? How many? How many?
Too many.
A lot, right?
47 years.
At least.
That's how long the money's been has been alive.
And I'm only 36, so I don't, it's crazy. No, in all seriousness, and every time I talk about this, I have got to always say this. I love the intent of the organization to celebrate what we're celebrating with respect to our diverse cultures that have been historical in our city. Since 1853, when we became a city, and probably before when there was Andover in Methuen, we have brought people from all over the place to come here with our mills. And it's just been a consistent, we're the immigrant city. It's consistent, right? And to celebrate that, I think, is fantastic. And I hope we continue to celebrate the various ethnicities that we have in our city, because I think it's going to continue. I don't think it's going to stop. The challenge we're facing, though, is this. It has nothing to do with celebrations of our various ethnic groups that are here. What it does have to do with is our responsibility. Our fiduciary responsibility. We have a responsibility to maintain the public parks and the buildings throughout our cities. About 10 years or so ago, we put in $2.2 million to renovate Campagnon Common. And almost immediately after we just did the renovations, we started putting carnival rides on there. It was like almost like we never stopped. And what happened is that you are quickening the deterioration. And when we put the kind of public, these are not private dollars, these are public taxpayer dollars that we're putting into our public places, and we have a job to protect our public places. When I stop and I pause and I say, is this going to cause more damage or not? Now, when we're saying we're going to have insurance, and we think, oh, we're going to have insurance, there's not going to be a problem, they're just going to fix it afterwards, after there's any damage. But the reality is, and Mr. Flynn, you and I have not talked about this, but I believe there's been, in the contracts that we have signed, there have been bonding requirements over the course of years. We've never said, here, you just do it and there's no bonding requirement. We have always had some sort of bonding / insurance for the layman requirements on that, for that facility. So if there was any damage, we would take care of it. But the reality is this, it doesn't work. It's like, the analogy I would use is this. If you got a street, and you got a problem with the street, and you got a pothole, you're going to fix the pothole up. But again, next year, that pothole is going to come back in, and it's going to get bigger, it's going to get worse. If you repave the street, and that's what the $2.2 million is for, if you repave that street, you're not going to have that pothole, you're not going to have that damage. It's going to last a lot longer. But when you start having carnival rides, regardless of who it's for, regardless of that, regardless of who it's for, the carnival rides by its very essence is going to cause the quote-unquote potholes that are always going to rear up again. It's going to be problems. I keep bringing this newspaper article with me. It's in my briefcase now. I bring it wherever I go. This is a 2018 article. Now, yours truly is featured on the front page of this. Walking the Common. It's entitled Common Debate. So this is not the first time we've been talking about this in this room. And the problems that took place in 2018 take place today. And at some point, we have to be realistic. I want to find a solution. I've worked hard for finding a solution. At the committee, I said, why don't we talk about the Gateway area, where the Puerto Rican group had their festival last year, and I didn't have any carnival rides, but they had a festival there last year, and the MVR, it's very convoluted, but I volunteered and went over there with officials from the MVRTA, and I walked the perimeter to see what can we do. The problem is, and that'd be a great spot, frankly, it'd be a fantastic spot, but the problem is that because of the increase in the Stone Mill and the Everett Mill and their contracts with parking spaces, you can't put carnival rides on parking spaces that are already leased. Just like you can't do it at Pemberton Park, which is already leased. Another, I think, great spot that would fit this, right? Two great spots. So we can't do it there. So I go to recreation, I say, well, listen, we want to be able to have carnivals here. What space can we do it? What public space can we do it? There is, I mean, if you just think about it, just think about the space. There really is no real significant public space that we can really put a carnival ride. Now, what they can do, and this is open to negotiations, is if you want to do something smaller, and again, we don't control Gateway. That it's MVRTA, which has, I can't think of the technical legal term for their authority, but they have the authority right now. It's convoluted, but they have the authority now to say yes or no to things going on that park. You know, if there's going to be something there, you would have to work with the MVRTA for them to say yes. Around the periphery, and around the periphery, you could have smaller rides and make it a family festival. So you can do something with rides, but it's not going to be the same thing as these bigger rides that our teenagers and our 20-somethings or whatever want to go on. It won't be like that. So anyway, I've come to the conclusion, and this, I hate to say this, because I want to think of our city as being able to accomplish things, not to say that we can't do something. But doing all that I can do, I still cannot find a place to have the kind of carnival as we've become accustomed to in our city in a public space. I just can't find that space. I don't think we're not equipped. We're not equipped for it. And I go back to my fiduciary responsibility. So where I'm staying is I'm open, I'm willing to listen, I'm trying hard to find our spot. I just don't, I'm running up against the wall. We're 6.6 square miles, we keep building and building and building. There's less spaces. I don't know where we can go. Thank you, Council President.
Council President.
Thank you, Councilor Laplante. Any other councilors? Councilor de Rosario.
Thank you, through you. Both parties, we have been lacking. Us in this part, we have been lacking because you have that paper from 2018, and none of us, I wasn't here in 2018, none of us have come up with any legislation to prohibit or protect those parks. So we late to that. Semana Hispana, even though I say motion to approve, also wait to the next 2 months to come and negotiate with us what kind of site they want, which they should have, the next day the festival is over, we should all sit down and see what will be, and set a stone and say, next year, honestly, this is where it's gonna be, or this is what we're gonna do, but we all failed. Since 2018, you'll be fighting that, and Councilor Laplante, you'll be fighting that, and you'll be trying to protect the park, but you haven't created a legislation or an ordinance to try to protect those a little bit more. And this has happened. This is what we heritage, and we got to deal with it. But nobody created an ordinance to prohibit them or prohibit anybody to go into those parks, right? And nobody has protected the park with a law or with an ordinance. So now we got to make a decision of allow them or not. So I will put it on anybody that wants to do it. As soon as Semana Hispana is over, try to create a legislation or an ordinance to protect those gray spots. And that way, when they go to the recreation department, they say, well, this is not allowed here, this is not allowed there, and they're going to have to work with something else. But at this point in time, that's basically, I would say we, but that newspaper you have is from 2018, which, it may be longer. 47 years the Semana Hispana has been going on, and probably every year we have the same conversation. And we don't sit down and create anything to protect those parks. So that's all I have to say. And also, Semana Hispana needs to, the next day the festival is over, they need to come back to the city and say, what are we going to do so we don't go through this every year? Because it's every year that we go through the same thing.
Council President.
Councilor Luzon.
I do have a question because I've seen that they are planting. Yeah, I have it on. So I've seen that they're planting a lot in that area where the machine supposed to go. How this is going to happen? How did you guys went over and saw the new plants that because the city is planting? Do we have a clear area in the park?
We've been in there since they did the plantings.
Okay.
With the trees, and we just work around everything that's there. We actually put fencing around all of the trees, and just set it up based upon where everything was there. The layout isn't the same as it was 15 years ago.
I wasn't here.
If anything, there's less machines than there were there before. But we worked around the trees. We worked with the DPW in terms of fencing off the trees.
Well, that sounds like a good plan, at least for this year, because I mean, some of the constituents are concerned about that. But it looks like, so DPW is involved and working with Semana Hispana, so and hopefully damage, we will control the damage, hopefully. That's it on my end.
Thank you, Councilor Luzon. Any other councilors? Any other councilors?
Quick comment. My colleague, who I respect from District C, made some comments. I don't know how far back he went on his research, but if he went further back, he may have seen that I did propose some stuff that did not get through the council at the time. So it wasn't for lack of effort or trying, but as you can see tonight, and as you can see every night, there's a huge tug, and nobody really wants to change it, honestly. Not many, I don't want to say nobody. few people want to change it. So I just want to make sure, cautious on making comments like, you didn't do anything. Well, yeah, we made some attempts, but unsuccessful. If you want to say that, yes, unsuccessful attempts, sure.
Okay, any other councilors? Councilor Levy?
I have a question regarding how do you guarantee that after, like the next day, you're gonna make sure that any damage can be fixed on the park?
Every year after the event, we actually walk the common, and that's basically with somebody from the DPW. The year that Councilor Laplante is referring to, there were some ruts that were in there that were fixed, filled in, not potholes, but ruts. It was a very wet Semana Hispana. If anybody remembers that, I think we were rained out almost every day. And when they did go to pull the equipment off, there were some ruts there that were filled, reseeded, and that was to the satisfaction and the sign-off of the DPW. And that's basically, I leave it up to the DPW, tell them if they notice that there's anything that has to be done, and we've been told them to go ahead and do whatever they have to do to fix it, and we paid for it.
Good to know.
Thank you.
Councilor, any other councilor? I have a few questions. Well, welcome back. I'm very supportive to the organization and to the ride. And the reason why, multiple reasons. I'm gonna give three perspectives as of why I'm supporting the ride. The first one is gonna be as a councilor. The second one is gonna be as a father, and the third one is gonna be as a community member / a friendly person to different cultures. The first one, as a councilor, I think that our responsibilities is to increase the public use of our parks. That's what I believe that we should do as a councilors. Doesn't make any sense to have parks that have a minimum amount of use if we can have a potential and to increase the use of those parks. We have that duty responsibility as a councilor to make sure that the people are using our parks. If we don't use our parks, and then other people that we keep on criticizing gonna start using those parks. And I keep on saying, if we use those parks, bad things might not happen. Whatever you want to define bad things. So I think that as a councilors, we have that duty, that responsibility, and that's to increase the amount of people that use the parks safely. We also have the responsibility to create those scenarios that are going to attract people. Perhaps flowers that we have discussed on a trip that we went to Washington, and we have that discussion for 2 days.
5,000.
5,000 tulipans. So we also have the responsibility to create those scenarios that we attract people to come to the parks for the main reason of using the park. And the reason for that is because those parks, to maintain those parks, are quite expensive, but not having nobody to use the parks, or the amount that the park is capable of handling is not worth it sometimes. So that's why my responsibility as a councilor is to make sure that people have the resource and to use the park, and Semana Hispana is one of them. As a father, I'm going to tell you this. It is very unfair that I had to bring my kids to another city to use ride, same ride as Fiesta show, because you guys are all over the place, and not be able to enjoy it here in my city. For specific reasons that many people have said that we don't have the spaces. Yeah, we do, because we invest a lot of money to maintain those parks every year. And it's unfair that we don't have those rides to the level that is going to be more economical to the parents. And why I'm saying this? Because we have the rights on South Lawrence, at the cinema. We do. But guess what? What's the difference? Down there, as soon as I get in, I need to pay $25 to get in. The entrance fee, $5 per person. $5 before my kids go in and go into one of those rides. $25 right there. And then after that, they have the bracelet that is about $42. I have 3 kids. That's another $126. So before we actually start the experience, we need to spend about $150 something before we actually go to one ride. Different than here, than the park, that we don't have to pay for the entry fees. It's not $5. It's free, and it's a lot more. But going back to the cinema, the space up there is very limited. They have like about, and correct me if I'm wrong, they have like about 7, 8 different rides. About.
Correct.
Guess what? My $35 down there, my $42 per kid for bracelets is different down there than out here, because out here I have like probably 20 rides or maybe more that I can enjoy with my kids. Down there, 7. Same amount. But guess what? As a parent, I need to look at that part also. And having 3 kids, that's important to recognize that we should be enjoying those rides, and not to have. We don't have to go to Lowell. We don't have to go to Top Fair. We don't have to go to other places around, to perhaps cities and towns around here, to enjoy those rides. As a parents, we have the right to use our park here because we pay taxes here. And guess what? There's a lot of different opinions as to why the park should be used for. I understand. And that's why, potentially, that's why how democracy works is that potentially that's why we don't have that prohibition of just using the park for one specific things. But now I'm going to go to a community member. I'm very friendly with different cultures. And not allowing this to happen that diminish the potential of the Latino communities to offer a festival to our kids, to our members. My kids, they go around in Semana Hispana. Any other festival that I bring them, except for Boston, they don't hear Dominican bachata and music. That's also part of our culture. And we need to respect, we need to share, we need to enjoy it, and provide that opportunity if we're capable of. And yes, we are capable of. With that said, I also need to say that we need to work in collaboration to make sure that the following day we have the proper resources to fix any type of damage that we do to the park. Loom and seed, that's to the bare minimum. And any type of structural damage that we have potentially from the machines or anything like that. No marks, because marks, they're there. But any potential damage that we have to the park, and this is a fair situation. But we do have the right to increase the public use of the parks, and we also have the right to make sure that our kids enjoy those festivals. And that's what we do, and that's what Semana Hispana have done for 47 years. Having the right on the Campañón Park last year, I fought hard for that to happen. We weren't able. That's fine. That's democracy. We took a vote. We respect that. We're very upset, but that's how democracy works. And having that opportunity today, and definitely appreciate that the Ordinance Committee was able to bring this discussion up for the entire council to have a say. And this is how we work. So I appreciate all the hard work that everybody on this room has put together for this discussion to happen and allow the vote to continue. So thank you, councilors, that were able to bring this up, and thank you, the organization. And as a matter of fact, I appreciate that you're doing this for the city of Lawrence. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, I believe the motion is to approve, right?
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, there was a motion to
approve. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Madam Clerk, can we please have a roll? No.
Councilor Levy?
Yes.
Councilor Laplante?
No.
Councilor Luzon?
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Councilor Santiago?
Yes.
Councilor Mamo?
Yes.
Councilor Reyes?
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante?
Yes.
Council President Rodriguez?
Thank you, yes.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you very
Motion
much.
carries. All right, we're going on top of the agenda. What's that? All right, we're going on top of the agenda. There is no public hearing. There is a commission from the mayor, no committee report. Housing committee, there is no committee. Personal committee, we're done with that. Public safety committee, there is no report. Economic development committee, there is no report. Committee of the whole, there is no report. All business, there is none. We are on table matters. Councilors, there is any table matters that we need to take out and discuss? I hear none. So let's go to new business. So item 20125, authorization to spend $44,000 sustainability materials recovery grant from DEP. This is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. Item 20225, authorization to spend $250,000 waste reduction project for the permanent household hazardous waste facility. And this is going to the Budget and Finance Committee. Item 20425, disposition of real estate. 389 Water Street. This is going to the Housing Committee. Item 20525, declaration of surplus property, 113 Exchange Street. This is going to the Housing Committee. Item 20625, declaration of surplus property at 2 Mosgiel View. That's going to the Housing Committee. Item 20725, declaration of surplus property at 47 Cedar Street. That's going to the Housing Committee. Item 20825, declaration of surplus properties of 226-272 Jackson Street. Map Lot 111, Lot 1, that's going to the Housing Committee. Item 20925, declaration of surplus property, 6365 Newberry Street, Map Lot 87. Lot 51-5, that's going to the Housing Committee. Item 21025, declaration of surplus property of 6365 Newberry Street, map 87, lot 51-6, that's going to the Housing Committee. Item 21125, declaration of surplus 6365 Newberry Street, map 87, lot 51-7, that's going to the Housing Committee. Item 21125, declaration of surplus 6365 Newberry Street, map 87, lot 51-7, that's going to the Housing Committee. Item 21225, declaration of surplus property of 6365 Newberry Street, that's lot 51-9, that's going to the Housing Committee. Item 21325, declaration of surplus property, 6365 Newberry Street, map 87, lot 5113, that's going to the Housing Committee. Item 21425, declaration of surplus property, 6365 Newberry Street, map 87, lot 5116, that's going to the Housing Committee. Item 21525, handicap parking, 25 Broad Street, that's going to the Ordinance Committee. Item 21625, remove handicap parking, Crescent Street. That's going to the Ordinance Committee. Item 21725, handicap parking on Crescent Street. That's going to the Ordinance Committee. Item 21825, handicap parking, 66 Florida Street. That's going to the Ordinance Committee. Item 21925, remove handicap parking, 19 Exchange Street. That's going to the Ordinance Committee. Item 22025, childcare parking at 140 Exchange Street. That's going to the Ordinance Committee. Item 22125, childcare parking, 229 Tremont Street. That's going to the Ordinance Committee. Item 22425, four-way stop sign intersections at Catherine Street and Ferry Street. That's going to the Ordinance Committee. Item 22325, one-way Campo Seco Street towards Ferry Street. That's going to the Ordinance Committee. Item 22425, request to access sidewalk from produce displays. Request to access sidewalks for product display at 247 South Broadway Street, Mid-Market. That's going to the Ordinance Committee.
I don't think sidewalks come before the council unless we're selling stuff, right?
No,
That's what he's gonna do.
No, they do. They do.
Okay.
Mhm. Item 22525, creation of ordinance regulating on-street parking of oversized vehicles. That's going to the Ordinance Committee. Item 22625, 4 days of worship at O'Connor Park, South Corner, from June 7 to June 10, 2025. That's going to the Ordinance Committee. Item 22725, Campaña Evangelística, O'Connor Park, South Common, from June 22 to July 13, and August 17 at 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. That's going to the Ordinance Committee. Item 22825, Community Fun Day out of the O'Connor Park and South Common. That's on June 28 from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. That's going to the Ordinance Committee. Item 22925, relocated to J. Paul at Stearns Ave. That's going to the Ordinance Committee. Item 23025, appropriation transfer for the amount of $116,800 from free cash to the Office of Planning and Development Infrastructure's account. That's to pay for the construction easement from the Mass DOT Lawrence Rail Trail project. That's going to the Budget and Finance Committee. Item 23125, rezoning of parcel of land on Madison Street, map 177, lot 5, from Industrial Park to R1, single family residential. And that's going to housing. Oh yes, there's a rezoning ordinance. So we send it to the Ordinance Committee and also to the zoning board?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna redirect this item as well to the zoning board. Item 23225, audit of the Lawrence Police Department for fiscal year 2025. That's going to public safety. All right, councilors, date for committees. It is important to recognize that we have the budget sections going on. The schedule has been going on for a while now. No, we're gonna do budget at 7 and then all the subcommittee meetings before that.
I have
Except for Tuesday, we don't have nothing on Tuesday.
Yeah,
We'll be fine. Yes, Tuesday we let it off, and then
No, we have.
so for the budget we have Monday, May 19th, Wednesday, May 21st, Thursday, May 22nd. All right, ordinance.
Next Tuesday, 7 p.m.
7 p.m. next Tuesday. Budget, regular budget.
So regular budget, and to my committee members, the next regular budget meeting, we will be having a presentation on the audit report. That was tabled because the company, the representatives couldn't attend the rescheduled meeting, last week's rescheduled meeting. So with that being said, be prepared for next Wednesday for a long meeting because we're going to have regular budget next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Let's do Thursday. It's the only option. Thursday, the 29th at 6 p.m. before the budget hearing.
Budget and Finance, regular, Thursday, 6 p.m. Housing.
Ellos hay otro meeting ese día. Budget hearings.
Tuesday at 6.
Regular.
No, Thursday is taken. Wednesday at 6 p.m. Housing. Public safety.
Public. We'll do Monday at 6. Monday, Monday, June 2nd at 6.
Monday, June 2nd at 6. Any other meetings?
I have a question. Are we having a special meeting for the budget?
We are going to have a special meeting for the budget.
Do we have a date for that?
There's no date for that.
There is no date yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
So, June 2nd.
All right, we can have it June 16 special meeting for the budget. We have some time.
Did we already order a public hearing?
We're going to have a public hearing today. Anticipate.
So,
For the second to the 14th, right? Oh, no, have to be 14 days. Yeah, from the second to the 14th, that's 2 weeks. And then we have to be on the system. Yes.
So I'm going to add on June 2nd. We're meeting on June 1st. So we're going to shoot that on June 26th.
On the second? Councilors, now we have the,
Is it on the agenda? Is the budget, so the Council President, is the budget on the agenda for a vote tonight, for the public hearing? Because we can't take a vote on it if it's not on the agenda.
unless that we suspend the rules and bring it back. Do we have it?
Bring it up. It's not on the agenda. It's at committee. So if you guys want to, yeah, suspend your rules to bring it to committee.
I think we have to do it today, because otherwise we're not gonna have this for a special meeting. To councilors, to avoid having a two special meeting for the budget, I think that we should suspend the rules to bring the budget back, order the public hearing for the second, to run into the 14th, potentially, and then be able to have a special meeting on the 16th, June 16th, that is gonna allow us to have some time after we have the discussion, which is gonna end on June 2nd from the committee. From there, we can have the 16th, and if any other meeting is needed before June 30, we can also meet, is to just get some time in between. Sometime when we go all the way to the 20, we have no time, and we have the pressure. So councilors, so I'll entertain a motion to suspend the rule to bring this item for the budget back to the full council. So what is the document number is 16425, and the rules that we need to suspend. And the rules to be suspended is. Give us 1 second, please. I think Rule 11.
Rule allows us to suspend the rules. You need 6 members to suspend the rules, and no, basically we're discharging it from a committee with this under Rule 11.
All right, councilors, we need to suspend the rules, which is Rule 11, and I need a motion to suspend the rule to bring the item 16425 back from, to be able to order the public hearing. Can I get a motion to suspend the rules? There's a motion to suspend the rules,
Discussion.
second by Councilor Levy, Councilor Laplante.
So just so I'm clear, so we have currently in the budget committee, we've got the budget that everybody's working on. So now we're gonna discharge, not finished yet, we're gonna discharge it to bring it up to the here, like now. We're gonna order a public hearing, and then you're going to
Send it back to
send it
committee.
back down to committee?
Exactly.
So you've got it, okay. But you gotta deem it an emergency as well, because it's not on the agenda, correct? And so you just suspend it, so there's gonna be another motion to make it an emergency, because it's not on the, it's
Yeah,
not on
we
the
need to
agenda?
first bring it back from committee, and then declare it an emergency. I mean, we bring it back from committee, so we have it on the agenda at that point. Because if we declare it an emergency, it's to add it to the agenda. We have it on the agenda already.
I would think, and I'm only saying this just because I don't want to see us get in trouble, because we have a how much, $300 million budget, $400 million budget? It's a pretty-
$469 million.
It's a huge budget, almost $500 million. And so what I don't want is someone to say, oh, you didn't do the right thing, open meeting law violations, you guys should, I just want to make sure we're protected by doing it the right way. So if we're going to, since it's not on the agenda right now, normally we would discharge something, if it was on their old business, we would discharge it with 6 votes. It's not even on the agenda. So I think what you're trying to say or suggest is that we're going to declare this an emergency, because right now, it's not on the agenda. And then you're going to discharge it. So you have two things, emergency.
Councilors, we need to take two motions. The first one is to declare this an emergency to be able to discharge from committee. The fact that we don't have this on the agenda for 48 hours, we're going to declare this as an emergency for the convenience of the public, as per the charter. So can I get a motion to declare this as an emergency for the convenience of the public?
So moved.
There is a motion to declare this as an emergency for the convenience of the public. Properly, second discussion. I hear none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
Do we need a roll call vote on an emergency?
Sure. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Councilor Reyes?
Yes.
Councilor Mom?
Yes.
Councilor Santiago?
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Councilor Luzon?
Yes.
Councilor Lopez?
Yes.
Councilor Levy?
Yes.
Councilor Infante? Yes. Council President Rodriguez?
Yes. Now that we have this being declared as an emergency, we are going to suspend Rule 11 to be able to pull it from committee. Can I get a motion to suspend Rule 11?
So moved. So moved.
There is a motion to suspend the rule, properly second. Any discussion? I hear none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilor Levy?
Yes.
Councilor Lopez?
Yes.
Councilor Luzon?
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Councilor Santiago?
Yes.
Councilor Mama?
Yes.
Councilor Reyes?
Yes.
Councilor Vice President? Yes. Council President?
I vote yes. So now that we have this item here, we are going to order the public hearing to run from the 2nd to the 14th. So, councilors, can I get a motion to order a public hearing on the budget
So
for
moved.
item 16425?
So moved.
There is a motion on the table, seconded by Councilor Del Rosario. Any questions? I hear none. All those in favor, please say aye. Madam Clerk,
Aye.
please call the roll.
Councilor Levy?
Yes.
Councilor LaPlante?
Yes.
Councilor Luzon?
Yes.
Councilor Del Rosario?
Yes.
Councilor Santiago?
Yes.
Councilor Marmo?
Yes.
Councilor Reyes?
Yes.
Council Vice President Infante? Yes. Council President Rodriguez?
I vote yes, so the publication will be anywhere after the 2nd to the 14th, and potentially we're going to have a special meeting. Councilors, be ready to have a special meeting on this item. I'm anticipated to have this budget or the special meeting for the 16th. So I think that that's a good day, since that ad is going to run from anywhere between the 2nd and the 14th for 14 days.
So, just to be clear, I have to state the date of the public hearing in the ad, so I'm gonna put the date of Monday the 16th unless you tell me something different.
Yes, for the special meeting.
Okay, because
Yes.
I'll probably try to get that distributed this week, because they take forever to get it in papers.
The 16th is a Monday, right?
The 16th is Monday.
Yeah.
Council President, I would also advise that we had extra dates on there in case we don't get it on that. You have to order a public hearing. I think you have to continue that at some point. Let's say we don't finish the budget discussions that night. Don't need to have a backup night, and then if we finish it, then you can just cancel the meeting.
The last day is the 2nd. Is as needed, but the budget need to start running on the 2nd. So you're right. So we can have.
You can always not adjourn, you could.
We tried that. That's frowned upon parliamentary wise. Yes, we tried that before.
Okay.
It didn't go over so well. Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Any other discussion on the public hearing for the budget? All right.
Do you want me to run it the second day?
Yes, let's run it for the 2nd day as well. On that. The meeting is on the 3rd.
So Monday's the 16th, Tuesday 17th is your regular meeting?
I said no. The regular meeting is on the 17th, right?
Yeah.
So let's run it for the 18th. In case. All right, we're gonna run two different dates. One is for the 16th and another one for the 18th. The regular meeting is on the 17th. Any other questions in regard to this matter? Do we talk about already on this?
Yep.
All right, perfect. Now this item 16425 is gonna go back to the Budget and Finance Committee to continue with the meetings. All right, we good?
Council President,
Councilor Luzon?
quick question. What do we do with these pending matters with public hearing? What is the procedure?
So, the pending matters.
We're just getting them to the Tribune is the biggest issue. So at your next meeting, you'll have a large batch of public hearings.
Okay, so you send this to,
Yeah, I send them to the Tribune for the publications, and then we run the hearings. Right now, I can actually look at the list with you. If you start at the bottom, 55, 46, 590, let me just be correct on that one. Bay State Road is not with the Tribune because Mr. McCarthy asked us to sit on that. But 55, 590, Jackson Street 574, stop sign at Highland. Council, I think I'm waiting for a question on you on that one. I don't have that at the Tribune. I wasn't sure if you, Councilor Santiago, with regard to document number 57324, the stop sign on Highland, I have a note that you didn't want that and you were the sponsor, so I put it on hold.
Yeah, let's communicate with everybody tomorrow that isn't there.
okay. Thank you, Council President.
No problem.
But about 7 of those right now are at the Tribune waiting for, they just didn't make it in time for this meeting.
Okay.
So they're on for the next one.
We'll follow up. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you.
Council.
Any other questions? All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
There is a motion to adjourn, seconded by Councilor Rosario. All those in favor, please say aye. The ayes have it.
Sí. Aquí hablamos gavetas.